slash, last and gash with the sharp tongue, piercing your eardrum is fearsome. Slinging your gun, son, I ain't even got when I'm doing what I say and saying what I mean with words that cut clean from a poet supreme. Flipping Tai Chi Chuan, dropping terrorist bombs with blood from Lebanon like Khalil Gibran. Outside in the hills, outside the city walls, behind closed doors with the infinite source. While you're dwelling in your hood, inhaling a smog, I'll be in the woods, puffing logs, talking to God, uninvolved with y'all.
You guys give me if I kill that bird? Barbara, that's a bald eagle. Get away, Baldy! Yeah!
Hey, good evening. This is the Word with Mike and Pete, GovsRadio.com. We are live here at the biggest and the baddest comedy store in all of the land. You guys can adjust your headphones as necessary. I already have done that. I pulled down the music slowly. Should I just talk about every move I make? Yeah, I should. So this is a brand new setup now. I know you're not on yet. Where I have the whole command center here, and I'm just getting used to all the fun stuff I can touch now instead of running back and forth like I used to do. I know, it's crazy. All right, so this is where Mike and Pete, GovsRadio.com. Let's throw the phone numbers out there right away. 516-465-3990, 516-513-0515. We do have a scheduled guest later in the night, but by that time, no one else calls but them. Rebel Kettle should be calling into the show a little later from Arkansas, who sent us a bunch of beer, and we're going to hang out and drink some of their beer while they talk to us about everything that they're doing. In the studio with us tonight, of course, we have Paul from Ghost coming in and saying hi. What's up, buddy?
How's it going?
It's going, man. And then, of course, we have Zach, the regional manager to the regional manager. We'll just say director of sales.
Director of sales.
Director of sales. I know I was going to say it on purpose like that. Zach from Great South Bay's here. What's up, buddy? What's going on?
Not much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming in, man. All right, so let's get through some quick sponsors, and then we're off and running. So tonight we are sponsored by MyBomberJackets.com. In the promo code, type in Wort, W-O-R-T, and you will save some amount of money. I don't even know. Go on to this is great for sponsorship, right? ShirtsOnTap.com, same thing. In the promo code, type in Wort, or Wort, however you want to pronounce it. And then, of course, you will get a percentage off your order. Where else we talk about? We talk about tap handles. We got remind me, tap handles. Tap handles. Paul sent us a nice little video message about the locally made Hartwell Woodshop tap handle. And then we have the commercially made tap handle for Great South Bay tonight because I ran out of mahogany, rich mahogany.
Rich mahogany.
Yes. But he'll get that one to take back to the brewery.
I don't think it would fit any. The rich mahogany one would fit.
I know. That's the other thing I got to think about. His almost didn't fit. It was kind of like right up against the back wall. Some people, That's what who else are we?
Fancy bar, so
we're also sponsored by Tavor. Go on to Tavor, the app that gets you beer delivered direct to your door. And in the promo code, type in Wort, W-O-R-T, and have a bunch of beer sent right to you. New beer is added there every day, so instead of trying to trade with people online like we did last week, which was crazy, because I did all the work and it was crazy. No offense, Pete. But Pete helped. Chipped in for shipping. Yes, I know you don't care. He got beer delivered to his door on Saturday, right before the beer fest. And that's some of the beer from our buddy Watando and the beer narrator and the brunette out in L.A. So we got a bunch of beer from all over the country sent to us. But if you don't want to do that and go through that hassle and actually have social contacts with people, go to Tavor. And in the promo code, again, type in Wort, and you're going to get a nice little percentage off. And those are our sponsors for tonight. And so with that, we welcome in our guests right here to the studio at the biggest and the baddest comedy club in all of the land. This is GovsRadio. We are, by the way, boys, in Facebook jail. For people that don't know, Facebook puts on pretty heavy restrictions for copyright stuff and for other things, stupid things, like if someone says they don't like us, they just randomly report us. And then we're basically banned from doing any news feeds for anybody. So anyone that does follow us doesn't even know that we're live right now. So this whole week we fell into it, but we very rarely use Facebook anyway.
I heard Mark Zuckerberg is a robot powered by an algorithm.
More than likely. I've seen him walk and breathe, so I'm not sure if that's...
Does he breathe? Have you?
Maybe.
Have you actually seen him breathe?
I haven't put the test strips on.
Really just a Terminator?
Yes. So with that, I'm sorry for anyone who is on Facebook looking for us, but we're not there tonight. We are on YouTube, though, who definitely doesn't give two flying Fs. And we're on our website, GovsRadio.com. So if you guys wanted to throw it out there to anybody, I just forgot to tell you that at the beginning of the show. I have my news feed up telling me that we're on, so we're good. And with that said, how are you guys doing?
No complaints.
All right, we've actually hung out with both of you already, but there's so much to go over now in the next few hours, let's say. Let's start with the first-time guest here, Zach in the studio. He came on the Heckscher State Park show and dropped a shit ton of knowledge. I don't know if you watched the video at all, but apparently someone kicked out the video plug, so I had to freeze frame like a 10-minute section.
Yeah.
You're talking, and there's just a freeze frame of all of us like this. And then it goes back to normal.
Oh, nice.
Because someone kicked out the video link at one point. But I think that was in like the third or fourth hour of the show. So not too many people have kind of commented in and said, "Oh, hey, the video froze." I'm like, no, that's us. You did you?
Yes.
Somebody kicked something over at a beer fest?
Right, yes. Get out of here.
Shocking.
It happened at this past beer fest, too. Someone kicked it right over. Even though I put bright fluorescent red tape on the floor over the connections, someone kicked it, of course.
Probably
but we spoke to you, and I believe it was
Santa.
Mike from Blue Point, some heavy hitters here on Long Island. So let's go back in time, Zach, as far as you can remember, and even before you were probably with them when they were a small-time shop. Give us a little brief history of Great South Bay Brewery and where they started, and bring us up to this current point and your involvement. We'll let you go there for a little bit.
Yeah, so I've been with the brewery for 2 years now. Not exactly the longest time with them. We've been around for this is actually our 10-year anniversary. We kind of aren't celebrating it as a 10-year anniversary.
Apparently not. I thought you guys were around a lot longer than
No,
that.
I thought so too.
I guess just to speak about that, we've been established for 10 years.
Okay.
But only brewing beer for 9, really.
Huh.
Okay.
So we started on Union Saxon and Bayshore.
Great little spot.
Yeah.
A motorcycle shop.
Yep.
Love that place.
Yeah, great little spot. And from there, it was Rick Sabaka's the original founder. Him and Greg Maish, our head brewer, I think it was basically just the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, they added a couple more brewers. And then that space got a little tight, from what I understand.
Well, I remember when I went there the first time, when you walked in, I think one of either the milling station was literally in the tasting room. They had either I think it was the tank, and then the milling station was right there. So they didn't have much room to work with to begin with.
Yeah.
And they got popular very, very, very quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was awesome to see, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So started off making blood orange pale ale, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That really took off. That's still one of our staples. But from there, we moved to Drexel Drive.
Okay.
25 Drexel Drive in Bayshore. A little bit bigger of a space, I would say.
A little bit.
Just, a little bit
Just a
bigger.
little.
About 42,000 square foot building now. So when we moved there, Rick was kind of just renting space, I guess, so a tenant of sorts. And then as time went on, the brewery, started picking up, and Now we are actually owned with Rick by the Davis family out of Islip. They own the building and they own part of the brewery. They are absolutely amazing.
Now they come from breweries, or they come
No,
from brewers?
so they come from the aerospace
really?
nuts and bolts fasteners. Yeah, so 25 Drexel Drive, our building now. For those, I guess, listening, it's by Old Entenmann's.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
Yep.
north of Southern, 42 North, right off the road there. But yeah, so they really come from a distribution background. They had, I guess, contracts for nuts and bolts fasteners, and if they hear this, they're gonna be like, "We did so much more."
We sent a ship to the moon.
Yeah, which I'm sure they did.
Yes.
My brother-in-law works for an aerospace company that sells fasteners.
Okay, so they were called UFC actually.
Okay.
Probably
I think I've heard. Yeah.
Probably before
Anything related
UFC
to
was
fighting.
trademarked. Yeah. But yeah, so they own the building. They did that again, a distribution background, and then they saw what the brewery was doing when Rick and Greg were there doing their thing, and they were like, "Man, looks like they're heading in the right direction. Why don't we invest, half the brewery or buy half the brewery?" And I mean, we had if you walk into the brewery, you'll see a picture of a 42,000 foot building with 4 tanks in it. It's kind of awkward to look at.
A lot of growing room.
Yeah, a lot of space. And then you walk into our brewery now, and you'll see 24 tanks.
So how much capacity do you guys have now?
We have honestly, off the top of my head, I think Paul actually can answer this question better probably. It's a lot. It's enough. It's enough.
I think your capacity now at max is like something like 2,400 barrels a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like once
enough.
everything
Enough.
with the latest expansion.
Yeah. So we just actually. So in the last year, we've doubled in size.
Wow.
We had 12 tanks last year. A two tank brew house, or I guess what's the correct terminology?
Like a 2-vessel brew house.
Yeah, 2-vessel brew house. We just finished completion on the expansion, where now we have a 4-vessel brew house, so we can complete 4 beers a day, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
In like 16 hours.
It's not. Yeah. So.
Like, whoa.
Yeah. So yeah, last year we had the 2-vessel 12 tanks. This year now we have 4-vessel 24 tanks.
That's an enormous leap from and over, was it 4 years, 5 years to?
Yeah. So we moved to that space about 5 years ago.
Yeah. So that's
our
a
current
huge
location.
leap from where you were in that small place to
Yeah.
where you are now, doing major distribution all over the country, I would imagine.
Yeah, so we're still heavily focused on Long Island, the city. We just recently expanded to New Jersey. We're working on a couple other states, and as we'll discuss further, there's a lot of competition. So we actually had a larger footprint probably 4 years ago than what we have now.
At Drexel?
Yeah, in terms of like distribution.
Okay.
We were in more locations with more distributors, and at the time when we had only, I think, 4 tanks, it just wasn't enough. So, we had to scale back. We had to refocus and, kind of
grow the business on Long Island.
Yeah.
To stronger position.
we wanted to focus on the island, city, and we're obviously, we're in one of the meccas of the beer world in terms of how many
I've been
breweries.
saying it. Thank you very much for backing me up.
Yeah,
we are in one
yeah.
of the meccas of beer.
If you think about it, I don't know how many licenses there are, but we had to grow. We had to basically scale back, refocus on what we do best on the island and the city, and then now we perceive to be heading in the right direction, and I think we are for sure. But yeah, so we'll be looking to expand, but we definitely have the capacity, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the
so
space to hold the capacity.
Yeah, so we've definitely from 4 tanks, or I guess from a garage to 24 tanks and a 4-vessel brew house. But if everything goes according to plan, and with beers that we brew not only for ourselves but other breweries that we can, we do contract brew, but we could be in terms of craft breweries.
Yeah,
and I say that term because not Bud Light. Not the ABs of the world, like they don't count in that category.
Right.
We would be technically a top 150 producer in the country.
Wow.
If we do everything,
you hit all your marks
with all the expansion we have. Yeah, we could be one of those breweries.
Now, is there a path already laid out by other breweries that are going to basically show you that direction, show you that path, and basically prove that it can be done in that way?
Yeah, and I know of some breweries that do it like Two Roads. Two Roads, for instance, is a very big They have a lot of contract beers. They obviously also have a very large footprint in terms of distribution, but
And they just opened a whole second
Area 2, yeah.
brewery. Yeah, area 2.
So that's
so you know they're heading in the right direction.
yeah. There's another one, and I think it's Worcester, Mass, or Worcester.
Worcester. Welcome to Worcester.
It's in Mass.
Worcestershire.
Yes. Worcester. It's in Worcester, I believe.
Okay.
But they have another one there. I don't know the brewery off the top of my head, but there's another location like that.
Right.
Obviously, you've got like the FX Mats of the world.
Of course, yeah.
That's another one where they
That is-
brew. They actually, like a lot of people don't know, they brew Lake Placid beer, like another
Oh,
brewery,
really?
very
Oh, no,
popular
that I didn't
brewery
know. Yeah.
up north. Yeah, they brew their beer.
Huh.
So it's definitely something that I think a lot of breweries have looked into.
Of course.
We are very lucky.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, they also do Carton, I think, Two Roads.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
do a ton of contract.
Oh, they do
brewing.
Given the state of the
Lawson's.
industry.
Oh, yeah, they do. That's right.
They do
Yep.
Lawson's.
And you wonder why it's well distributed down here for a Vermont-based brewery.
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it's definitely a path that we've looked into, and knock on wood, fingers crossed, it's something we perceive to be heading in the right direction.
Right.
And the great part is, even with those contracts, a lot of people don't know that like our guys do the work. Our guys do the heavy lifting.
Right.
They're the one dry hopping everything. They're the ones doing everything. It's not like those breweries send a guy to work on that one specific beer. You get that occasionally, but it's our employees that do the.
I would assume those are the newbies that are like, I'm kind of like held on to this recipe. I want to make sure everything's done right. But
it really is actually they do come, and I'm not going to say that they don't do anything, but
Right.
a lot of recognition needs to go to GSB and especially our brewers. They don't get recognized sometimes as the craftiest people, but it is. It's we're working towards that,
Right.
And we're growing the brand in terms of that, but. They brew amazing beers that are some of the most sought after breweries in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think that, oh yeah, that was XYZ brewery that just did that. They were there, they just used the space. But no, it was Greg, it was Mike, it was Dylan, it was, those guys in the back. So
just working hard, making sure they
Yeah.
hit it hard with whatever they were told to do.
They execute everything perfectly.
Right.
We haven't had any hiccups, never had any issues. So yeah.
That's great. I mean, I can imagine just as from a standpoint from you guys, not so much the breweries bringing the contract beer to you, but from you guys, you don't want to have any quality control issues with your stuff for their stuff, because then it's like, no, now they're not going to come back here and do it. You want to keep that long-standing relationship,
Of course.
and contract over and over again.
I think that's what's really, I wouldn't say differentiated us from like a Two Roads, because Two Roads has, I think, like 120 barrels and 240 tanks, and I think they got 240 or something like. They got something ridiculous, something huge. Our biggest is a 60 barrel,
honestly.
but
which is
that you're talking. If
Yeah.
it's a 240 barrel, you're talking 480 half barrels
Jesus Christ.
in one brew.
one is a lot of that's a lot of bars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
And is that because of just height? I mean, I assume it's just
you
warehouse
can actually get them
height,
custom,
or,
from what I understand. I don't know about that size.
Yeah. You can get them made.
or why
whatever
wouldn't?
size you
Well, what I'm
want.
saying is, why would you get 260s as opposed to like a single 120 or something like that?
It all depends on
Flexibility,
what
probably.
you can put out. If you
Different
can't
styles,
get that,
I guess,
that
in each one.
120 barrels out.
You could always double batch.
Right. Exactly.
Having the two half sizes allows you
that
to do
makes
two
sense.
different
It
things.
does,
Getting
you
it
know-
out fresh, not having to buy it back, not having to.
Oh, good point. Yeah, unless it's a really huge seller across the
Yeah,
land.
like a Lawson's, Lawson's
Right.
does from Two Roads. That
They
Sip
do
of
that one
Sunshine.
thing.
That's obviously a no-brainer for them. They know that distribution's there.
Mm-hmm.
They can go to whatever tank size is even available almost, and they know that it's going to sell.
Give me the biggest and
But-
the baddest.
But yeah, to talk about the quality, I think
Or like a kettle sour, they may not want to.
exactly. Yeah.
Or a what they do? They did a rosé goza.
Okay.
I don't think that was Two Roads though. I don't think they're gonna put that in the 240.
But yeah, like,
Just throwing it out there.
yeah, no,
It may
but-
not sell. You're right. You might be buying back and getting.
and that's a
stuff.
very scary thing for breweries. Obviously,
Yeah.
In this climate, you're better off underestimating
right and
terms of
creating
volume.
almost a
the buzz
sup-
almost.
of
Yeah.
supply demand
Exactly.
kind of thing
Yeah.
over it.
Like the market, it's in an interesting place right now because 8-10 years ago it was all about go big, go big, go big, go big. Expand. And we were talking about Sam Calgione a while ago, and I remember visiting the brewery. I was like 6 or 7 years ago, or whatever, and they were doing their final expansion. They were like, "Oh yeah, and we're going to cap off at 550 barrels a year, whatever, 550,000 barrels a year, whatever the number was." But that was at the same token that everybody was saying more. Like Stone was breaking ground in Germany. And everybody was talking about North Carolina. And I'm sitting there like, but why is he talking about a cap when everybody's talking about more? And it took me like 3 days of sitting there thinking on my vacation, but like why? And then, like, I'm like,
Why, Sam?
because he sees like
Cutting out newspaper
all
articles,
these new dudes,
push
are-
pins, little things of yarn.
But like all these
What does
new
it all
breweries
mean?
are coming in, they're gonna take a piece of the pie, and not, like, and now. I don't want this like to come off the wrong way, but like look at where Sam is now. Like he's had to sell, and that was unfortunate. And honestly, like
Do you
when I
think
saw
it's
that
has to sell or?
maybe that was like the wrong choice of words, but like as a brewer, like being somebody that Sam literally inspired to start brewing. When I heard that news, for me that was like video killed the radio
hurts,
star
yeah.
of the brewing world, where it was like the 100,000 of like knees.
Even one of the biggest
like,
guys couldn't
But at least
sustain
the guy that inspired
with
all
this.
of us. Like,
Yes.
I was
took a
surprised
piece
to
of
hear
this pie and,
how
but
how far down on the list of
Craft brewers there.
craft brewers they
Yeah.
were. I was like, it was like 18 or something.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah, no, yeah.
yeah, but like
What the
back
fuck?
I'm like, well, because I assume like, oh, Sam Adams has got to be number one.
Yeah, of course.
Stone has to be up there.
Yep. Like Lagunitas.
Well, I found out tonight they're bought out.
Yeah.
Who else am I thinking about?
Yeah, like
Sierra
New-
Nevada.
yeah,
I thought,
New
I'm like, all right,
Belgium.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, those are that rounds out
course.
the top 5 or something like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, it's like
And probably
18.
2 or 3 of those were in the actual top 5, and then they were 18.
Right. And
But and then
Jeez.
speaking of the North Carolina thing, and like you said, like at the time you're like, why though? Why? Now again, that was what, 5 years ago.
yeah, 5.
So say that was 5 years ago.
probably,
Yeah.
but
Now look at all those breweries that are North Carolina that are pulling back.
right.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
and what I was getting to before, as far as like the contracting goes, is like now you have all these breweries that like had all this room, they had to pull back a little bit. You have all these smaller guys that want to do bigger canning runs, but can't afford like the fermenter space or the expansions onto their breweries. So
Yeah.
now it's kind of like one of those situations where one hand washes the other. Like
Yeah.
the smaller breweries keep some of the bigger breweries like tanks full. And it becomes like this like symbiotic like relationship. So to
I was going to say,
speak.
so that's where they picked up that contract concept that they can start taking in those mid-level, little lower mid-level
Yeah.
breweries and help them out, kind of
And-
up their
and then,
distribution
keep
without
their
outlaying a
tanks
shit ton of
full.
capital.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
exactly. Now
Yes.
they don't have to like lay out all this shit ton of capital. They just have to like pay the contract fee, which they're like, oh,
Yeah.
wait, I could get
Pennies
like a
compared
$30
to-
like can run
Yeah.
for
Yeah, you don't
not
have to.
having
You don't have
fork
to. You don't have to
over all
pay your
this money.
employees. You're paying.
Other
it's,
people,
It's
yeah.
really. You're really just paying.
You're paying like a percentage
and
per
even
can or
just-
something
just
like
from
that,
the
or per
equip-
barrel.
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. So, and obviously going back though was the quality thing. I think that's what's really helped us with contracts, at least.
Yeah.
These highly sought after breweries, I think, have seen the quality, and like we spoke about before we got on the air, the awards we've won due to quality. We don't, we're proud on the quality and the consistency. The consistency is huge. That goes a very long way, and Paul as a brewer can explain. Yeah, you can make a great,
Coors Light.
exactly.
Do
Well,
it again.
yeah,
Do it
like-
again.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Do it
You
again
can
for the
shit
last
on
40,
Bud Light all
50
you want,
years.
and let's do that.
Yeah.
But it always tastes the same.
Have
And
you ever had
there's,
one that
you know,
tasted different? Unless
no,
it's
or
like 6
bad.
years old.
I don't think
no.
I've had one that even tasted bad.
And
Well-
I mean, as bad as they taste, worse than they taste.
No,
No, it's always fresh.
Right.
It always
Yeah.
tastes the same.
You've never seen an infected beer.
No.
You've
Right.
never seen any recall.
That is amazing in and of itself.
Exactly.
So that there's
They've perfected
Man.
that art of getting an exact product can by can throughout the entire world.
Yeah.
McDonald's a beer. It's
really
gonna-
is.
And I
You're
think-
gonna get the same mediocre hamburger everywhere.
But I think
but
Paul.
you know what that hamburger is gonna taste like.
I think
It's not
Paul.
like Chinese food.
Hey, I love Chinese
Yeah,
food.
yeah.
No, yeah. But the quality
But
difference.
you
different,
move,
yeah, yeah.
you know, you move and like, oh god, I
Yeah,
gotta.
it's a
Yeah.
3-month journey. But
Where am I gonna go?
But I think Paul and our head brewer Greg again. I think they can. That's almost like that's your goal. Obviously, selling 10 million cans is awesome, but to have on your resume, I've brewed 6 batches or 6 million batches, and they're all consistent.
Yep.
That takes a very long time. Not many people or not many breweries can say that.
Right.
At least that I know.
Because
of.
they haven't
Oh,
been
no,
around
absolutely
long
not.
enough and they don't have the equipment like that. So
Yeah.
you kind of race to this point where that's where you kind of are looking. You're kind of done with coming up with these ridiculous styles that you're going to drop people's panties. You
Yeah.
you really want to now focus on the quality control,
Yeah.
which you
Well,
can.
speaking of that, how much corn syrup do you guys use in your beer?
I don't want to talk about it.
Zero.
So much of the corn syrup.
All of the corn
Yeah,
syrups.
we actually have a vessel out back that just pumps it into the.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hidden.
Yeah.
But
Direct line to Iowa.
even at my last job, like I had to brew like a lot of staples like continuously throughout the year, and at that point in time, like a lot of breweries really weren't. They didn't have a set of staples or this that or the other thing, and even talking over with a lot of my brewer friends like, oh yeah, like this is like my 100th time I brewed this beer, and it's like wait, like you brewed the same beer 100 times, and that was kind of one of those things I didn't realize, like, oh wow, like this is like a whole weapon like in my arsenal that I have that like I could do that. And at Ghost now, like I'm kind of coming up to, I've rebrewed like 3 beers now from like the first batch.
And we have some. You want to
well, yeah, we
while
can
you're
crack
on
this
that
open.
subject, since I don't want them to get too
And
warm in this
getting that
this
like
area.
first
The sauna.
rebrew
I also
where
hand
we're
out
like,
some cups
alright,
for you guys
are
too.
we gonna get this consistent? Like, it's
Yeah,
something
well,
else,
I think
but-
that's one of the things that I think you guys, after you've kind of got past that initial stage of, oh, cool, this is a good beer, that's a good beer, the next stage in the evolution would be, now I want to do that, like you said, 10 more times, do it the same way, and that will really establish that beer as a flagship or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Go, 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 go. There you go.
And what's crazy?
got it.
What's crazy too is
That's good, yeah.
and not
no harm
to not to
Thanks, sir.
boast about Great South Bay or Ghost, obviously, because for those that don't know, Ghost is our neighbor.
Yes, he's in the same,
In the same
In the
14,000
same,
square foot building.
in the same roof.
same roof, different pad.
You'll probably notice that I talked to Paul just as much. I talked to him, our head brewer. We bounce a lot of ideas off, but yeah, I mean, I've noticed even with Paul before he even started, like if he brews a new style
Yeah.
and it doesn't meet expectations, there's no, oh, we got to put it in the market.
Right.
There's a level of expectations that is expected from Paul and Greg and Great South Bay and Ghost that, if we do try to brew a kettle sour or whatever it may have been, if it comes out and there is something wrong, we're not going to risk our reputation on something like that.
That makes sense. Now,
Better to throw out a few $1,000s in ingredients.
Exactly.
than- yeah.
Keep that reputation. Keep those customers that, and especially if it's like you said, a brand like Blonde Ambition or Blood Orange that's been around for years.
can't fuck that up.
You can't. Yeah, that's not a risk because repeat sales are extremely hard to get.
Yeah, well, I'll say this, and I have 2 things just brought to light. Number one, talking about Blood Orange. So when they were brewing that at the motorcycle shop,
Yep.
I fell in love with it. It's another one of those pale ales that I was just in love with.
Yeah.
Like a Magic Hat Number 9 was one of my first craft
Yeah,
beers.
yeah, there you go.
So it kind of reminded me of that moment. When you guys came to the new facility and it was gone for so long off the shelves and
Yeah.
the new ones came out, it wasn't quite the same.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking there's 2 reasons. Number one, probably larger capacity, bigger tanks, probably just off a little bit. And I don't have a great palate, but I thought for me, something I really love was something that I was looking for again. Not that I didn't like it. By any means did I not say I'm never having it again. And
Yeah.
it was a repeat buy for me just to see if it ever caught up. But in the end, it wasn't something that stayed with me forever because of that next level thing. So I think that's going to be hard for anybody that's small to then move up to that next level
Yeah.
to accomplish that same small behind the doors right here feel that they have.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to ask is, because of that, is it hard then for small breweries to get an honest opinion? Because if you're a small brewery, you're just opening and you're serving beer, and it's really, in the opinions of a lot of people, not great. How do you service the real disclaimers or the real remarks without hurting somebody's feelings or feeling like you're going to get hurt from it? Are you really truly looking for honest feedback? Because we're about to taste your beer,
yeah.
and I'm just prefacing that.
No, I mean,
No, we had some stuff before.
No, I think like when I do, like I saw you guys at the Great Beer Expo this
Yeah.
past weekend. Those kind of events or samplings, like Great South Bay is at the point where we could hire somebody just to go out and sample our beer.
Right.
I could hire Johnny down the block,
That'd be me. I'll sample your beer.
and we send him out. He goes to Great Beer Expo or
Yep.
XYZ Beverage Center, and they might not know everything about the beer, which one isn't exactly best, but two,
You don't want them to misrepresent it. So
That, and I want to know if you don't like it. I want to know.
Right.
I want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly. The excellent. I want to hear everything because it's only going to help our brewer.
Right.
If you tell me, hey, I had blonde or blood.
Everyone telling you it's awesome doesn't get you any better.
Exactly.
Right.
Because especially if you're lying to me, I can't go back. I can't go back and say, hey, I think we need to tweak this a little bit.
Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot of remarks on this being a little too hoppy, this IPA, it's
right.
or it's not hoppy enough, or.
But again, not things that if you don't. Hold on, Dennis Murphy. So yeah, I think the honest remarks definitely will, like you said, help you improve.
Absolutely.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Isn't going to get you anywhere.
Yeah.
Let me take this really quick. This is the word Mike at Pete, GovsRadio.com. Dennis Murphy, you're on the phone. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
First of all, I want to congratulate you
Dennis.
on your wedding here in the studio on Saturday morning. You guys enjoyed a great ceremony.
Congrats.
And then went out to, I believe, IHOP. And then what? I saw you in front of a big tree.
Yes, we were in front of the big tree. It was nice.
Where'd you go? Where was the big
We
tree?
went to the Roosevelt Field Mall.
Oh, okay. All right. Very nice.
Yeah, but it was a very nice ceremony. It was beautiful, and you guys should have stopped in.
Yeah, I know. Well, we were at the Great Beer Expo, Dennis.
How was it?
It was a great time.
That's good. And like I said, thanks to GovsRadio. It was a very, very nice wedding. It was perfect. My cousin was there.
Nice.
The best man. It was beautiful. I liked it and everything.
All right.
Everything.
Well, congratulations to you and Dorian. Any plans for a honeymoon?
Yeah, I'll say by next year when we're going to Florida for a little bit.
That's good. There you go. Get out of the state for a little bit. Enjoy yourself.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You deserve it, buddy.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Of course. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I just want to give a big thanks to
GovsRadio.
I like GovsRadio.
And the Wort with Mike and Pete.
Yes.
All right, Dennis. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, thank you, guys.
Congrats.
I appreciate it.
All right, later. Dennis Murphy calls in every single show, every single time. And we just say hello. And we send him jerky.
Yeah,
Two big jerks, beef jerky. Last time. But he got married here in the studio with a nice little ceremony that was live on air. So congratulations to him and Dorian, and enjoy themselves. Let me just pause you because I want to start drinking this, but I want you to hear. I want to hear about it and find out what's going on after you're down in the middle of it. Like, I got to catch up to this guy. This guy's fooling me too.
So this beer is called the Afterlife. It's actually a Kentucky Common. So based off the last time I was here, with Sig Lucier,
Yes.
chatting with those dudes, I really wanted to bring this one down. So
There he is. There's good old Sig.
Oh, nice.
Wore my shirt today.
So this one, it's aged on cocoa nibs and 3 different types of cherries.
Ooh.
I used my hop back, threw a bunch of cherries in that, and then age on top of the cocoa nibs and cherries.
I can feel the
for a bit,
cocoa.
too.
Yep. Cherries are not popping.
Yeah.
Like, that didn't sound cherry popping. Yeah. That's because there's no women in here, so there's no cherries
I wish
popping.
I hadn't signed on to that.
I know.
That comment.
There's nothing jumping out. They're not over the top. They're subtle.
Yeah. I didn't want it to be like cherry
no.
bomb. It's only 5.8%.
What,
So
is it the style that's giving it like that smooth aftertaste?
yeah, so a Kentucky Common is kind of similar to a cream ale, where
It is,
like,
yes, okay, that's right.
where it's a style that was created by distillers making a beer out of leftover whiskey ingredients. So there's high proportions of corn, oats, and rye in here. It's, lightly hopped. It was actually traditionally initially like a golden ale.
Okay.
But from aging on the cherries and the coconut,
Yeah, it's going to give that little
like amber
caramel.
yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah.
May I have a
So,
little
like,
more, please?
Yeah, the chocolate
have
almost
more,
comes off like
sir.
a little bit fudgy.
No, it's not. Is someone back on?
I guess.
I didn't hang up on him.
No.
You still there? Dennis?
I feel like
Graz?
Oh.
No one's
That's
there.
Grazian?
No, he'll definitely call. He probably called before, but I didn't answer right away. I don't take phone calls right away because we're in the middle of conversation and talking about stuff, so I don't want to interrupt the flow all the time.
Yeah, the cherries I wanted more to just kind of like bring in like a pop of like acidity and like fresh.
And it does,
I didn't want it to
absolutely.
like become medicinal, and I feel like it almost has like a cherry coke kind of like aftertaste, like that, like kind of like mingles between that.
I wasn't
and the
thinking
rye a
that, but
little
now you
bit,
got me
but-
thinking again.
Now I got to take an extra sip just to see. If,
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Now you put in my brain. Don't say anything because then at the last minute you can just insert that and they go, oh shit, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, it's 5.8%. Real light.
Very
drinker.
drinkable.
I'm a big fan of Kentucky Commons, and like I said, like last time we were on, like being able to chat with like the Sig Lucier dudes and actually hear from people in Kentucky what they're doing. It was awesome because it's not really a style you can get a lot of information on up here. So hearing that from them, I'm really looking forward to like introducing a lot of that knowledge I learned from them. Like, once we get up and ripping.
I'm glad you came in that night.
Oh yeah, no, dude, that was awesome. Like I was like,
well, to tell Zach, so
what timing?
we had Paul
in a
bizarre twist. We get a phone call like 2 days before, a couple days before.
Someone reached out on Instagram and be like, "Hey, our brewer really wants to come on the podcast. Let us know when there's a good night." And then Mike and I, simultaneously apparently look at their profile, and it's a brewery in Kentucky. And like, I don't know if so. Reach out to them.
I don't think we're gonna make it down to Kentucky, to be honest. And he was fine. He was like, no problem.
Yeah. He happens to have a place in Queens.
Okay.
And was like, oh, actually, I'm going to be in town in Long Island City.
Oh, wow.
I'll swing by if that's cool. Like, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, it's cool.
Crush those Pilsners.
There's another podcast in Kentucky, Boy Meets Wort.
Yep.
Okay.
And Tim told someone, hey, go reach out to the Wort podcast. And they found us
and he
instead.
got us.
Oh, okay.
And it just so happens he came in, and we had to schedule with Paul, and we're like, swing by. I actually asked Paul, I said, is it all right? And he's like,
I'll be getting some barrels from him.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. I still got his card at home.
He's like,
There you go.
I said, Paul, is it all right if he swings by? He's like, yeah,
of
totally
stuff.
cool. So we ended up getting him in, and that was a great night, man.
Yeah, it was,
It was a great
Definitely
night.
a different aspect to everything, from hearing from out-of-state brewers
Yeah.
and someone super local.
Their
It's the
Pilsen
Wort
was
with Mike.
really good.
Oh, it sure was. Mike was Wort. This is the Wort with Mike and Pete. GovsRadio.com. Who's on the phone?
Yo,
Yo.
I got a client in the car. Did he say cocoa nibs?
He did. He said cocoa nibs.
I said cocoa nibs.
He did say cocoa nibs.
Yes, I did.
So should I get chocolate? Can we make chocolate cocoa nibs?
No, they already make chocolate cocoa nibs.
Cocoa nibs are chocolate.
Yeah.
Can they make me a beer?
Yeah.
There's already a chocolate porter in here, too, Graz.
Ooh, it's right up your alley.
All right. So
We made it already. It's in cans and ready to go.
In cans, and it's already distributed.
There's like half a case of it right here.
Can I come in and steal one before I have
Yes,
to go back
of
into
course.
the sea for
Absolutely.
another job?
Oh, you got more work
Hey.
tonight, huh? All right, yeah. Stop by on your way to Seaford.
Listen. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Pete is all about class, man. I texted yesterday. Pete sends a personal
Here we
text
go.
back to me.
Here's the bash
about
mic
the Great
part.
about
Here
the
we
Great
go.
American Beer Fest. And then you know what? I send one out to you, and
Yeah.
I get a generic one with 5 other motherfuckers on there.
Time out. Those 5 other motherfuckers are all our friends. That's Nicky Nux. It was Tom. It was Matt. It was all the guys that
God,
helped
who
us out that
cares?
day. And listen, I
cares?
had to do that because you reminded me to then send that out, which I wanted to do the morning after, and I totally forgot. And when you sent it to me, I said, shit, I never sent that out. So I did that first, and then by the time I got back to our text thread, you were already bad-mouthing me with Pete.
Unacceptable.
We're glad you came, Graz. It
Yes,
was a
we
lot
are
of fun
very
having
good,
you.
yeah.
Thanks for
Listen, wait,
chipping in with the
can I hear
broadcasting
him?
duties.
My throat and my voice is actually back tonight, so I lost it in the last 45 minutes to an hour of that day screaming over the loudness there. So
I did better this year than I did last year. I
All kidding aside,
Too much
man,
to drink,
you
too much
guys-
to eat.
that was a good time, man.
it was a good time. It's always
you
a good
guys
time.
put on a nice show. Steve from Hopwins, that's a good time. Who's in the studio now?
All right, so next to us we have Paul.
Come
from
on, you don't know my
GovsRadio.
voice, Grazie? What's up?
Paul, I know it's you from Great South Bay. Who else you with?
No,
close.
No.
it's literally close.
Is
Yeah.
that
but-
Ghost? Is that Ghost?
Yes, that's
Yep.
Paul.
Ghost guy?
Paul is Ghost. Stop talking. Paul from Ghost Brewing Company.
I still love
and
you,
then
Grazie.
in the same facility is our friend Zach, and he is from Great South Bay.
Hi, Zach.
How are you?
And we
Great,
both
how
brought
are
you
you?
chocolate beers.
And yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two different kinds of chocolate.
one is
beers.
cherry chocolate,
And
and one's chocolate porter, which you'll like very much because you like
Oh
chocolate.
my God, I love these guys. Holy shit, I gotta leave. This blows.
All right, you go do your thing. Swing by on your way to pick up the next client.
By the way, the Wort is running really good on YouTube right now.
Is it? That's because everyone's going over there, which is
Yes,
classic.
you're doing a good job. Why didn't you put it up on Boxcast?
It is. It's up on Boxcast. It's just not going to Facebook because we're in Facebook
This
jail.
is production chat.
Nope.
Yes. And Pete's already starting to zone out with his ADD.
All right, here we
Oh,
go.
he's checking
See
the
you
Facebook.
later. Bye,
All
bye,
right.
Pete.
Bye now.
See ya.
So is it
Bring cocoa
Facebook
nibs.
jail or penalty box?
I think it's a little bit of both because we still
hope
are
it's
able to
fucking
log
jail.
in, operate. We can still technically post things.
Okay.
We just can't
Go streaming
share
kind of
things
thing?
on the. No, we're streaming right now.
Oh, okay.
I actually took us off the Facebook. There's no reason to even bother with it.
Yeah.
But we don't appear on anybody's newsfeed.
Oh,
So it's like we don't exist unless
Yeah.
you're seeking us out
exactly.
directly.
I gotcha.
So that's the way it works. And without going too far into it, it's all because we have to have like a business page, but we're using a fake name, and now we're going to get in trouble for that. And the fake name allows us for all the shows to know it. That's why we did it. It's a generic thing. They don't have like a business plan like that for things like this, where there's many different users who all want to do the posts and the streams to the same place. But if you go on to Instagram, it's fine. Twitter, YouTube, no one seems to give a crap. So I don't know why Facebook is being such a bitch about everything. Because
they're ruining our democracy and they want to ruin
Which is weird because Facebook owns Instagram.
Right. But Instagram is still Wild West. You could still basically post almost nudity if you want. But Facebook will suspend you for weeks if you do anything close.
Even for the brewery, I mean, for Instagram and other platforms, it is actually difficult.
Yeah.
Even on our end, too, yeah. Alcohol is obviously...
Right. It's a tough... And I think it might even be part of it. And we might be part of it, but every show drinks in the studio for the most part now. Everyone's cursing.
If not, you're doing it wrong.
Right. Exactly. Everyone is... Not everyone, but people talking politics and bad-mouthing other things. So everyone's just speaking their mind because we're a comedy place. Everything's supposed to be in lieu of being fun and having fun and whatever. So...
That's what this whole industry is.
Right. So why are we restricting everything? Well, that's what social media is supposed to be. Fun.
Yeah.
And communicative, if that was the right word.
I thought it was for spoiling our democracy.
No. Well, it could be. You guys want to take a quick break? You do, yes. Okay, let's take a quick break. This is The Word with Mike and Pete. We're going to reset, and we'll come back with some more fun and exciting things.
And we're gonna relocate the Great South Bay beer to a more convenient spot.
I was thinking that, too, because no one can get the beer fast enough for it to make sense. So let me just set this up really quick because now I got too many things to worry about. That's what we're going to put
Dead
into.
air.
Well, you could always talk. You're a co-host. So
Well,
say something.
it sounded like you were going to give it a little outro.
I was. Well, I got to tag it at the
now
end.
You're just fucking playing with the computer.
Now I'm just going solitaire.
Playing with the mouse.
I'm just playing solitaire. All right, this is where Mike and Pete, GovsRadio.com. We'll be right back after this.
Govs Radio.
This is The Wort on Govs Radio.
All right now, shoulders and hips, boys, shoulders and hips.
sling and ring on your lips, a feeling on your fingertips. Ooh, can't nobody tell you what you cannot do. Write a word and watch emotions flow right through you. Make it fly like a rocket, watch it soar across the moon. And keep reaching, keep reaching. Just keep on reaching. All you got to do is keep reaching. Like a star in the sky. It's always been right there for you. That's why you know what to do. You heard the call and it set you free. There's nothing that can stop you from becoming what you're meant to be. Ooh, can't nobody tell you what you cannot do. Write a word and watch emotions flow right through you. Make it big flame like a rocket, watch it soar across the moon. Keep reaching, keep reaching. Just keep on reaching. All you got to do is keep reaching. Can't nobody tell you what you cannot do. Write a word and watch emotions flow right through you. Make it big flame like a rocket, watch it soar across the moon. Keep reaching, keep reaching. Just keep on reaching. All you got to do is keep reaching. And keep reaching, keep reaching. Just keep on reaching. All you got to do is keep reaching.
This is Ghost Radio, and you're getting drunk with Mike and Pete on the Wort.
This is the word with Mike and Pete, GovsRadio.com. That music was just kicking in. Sorry, I had to ditch that. We're live here in the studio at Govs Comedy Club in Levittown, New York. Our phone number, 516-465-3990, 516-513-0515. We're hanging with Paulie from Ghost and Zach from Great South Bay. And
More beer.
We're having more beer, indeed.
Yep.
I'm getting a little...
Lovely.
Is that from that? It is from that. Let me make sure that doesn't happen too much.
It's
If you
cool,
want to
it
give us a
tastes
call
like
and join in, again, we are live right now on the Govs Radio YouTube page. We are live, I believe, on the Wort Facebook page. now that I checked it. And we're definitely live on our website. That is GovsRadio.com. Go to GovsRadio.com and click on the link that says Watch Now. Or even if you're in the car and you don't want to watch, you can definitely just call in or listen. It is an audio feed and a video feed separate, so you can do either of the or. Like it's a live radio station on your car dial. On your dial in the car. Paul's doling out some more of this brew that he has, this unlabeled brew that's in his growlers. So we had the, what was the first one called?
That one was called Afterlife.
Afterlife,
it was,
right, correct.
Kentucky Common aged on cocoa nibs and 3 different kinds of cherries.
Don't say cocoa nibs, because then
What kind of
Grass's ears start ringing it.
What he said?
What kind of cherries?
Wait,
There-
he said he
was,
wanted chocolate, right?
Yeah. It was sweet cherries, tart cherries, and black cherries.
Okay.
Okay.
So
The black cherries add a little bit of bitterness and darkness, obviously.
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking
and
about
like
with color.
the cocoa nibs like really tinged it kind of like almost into this like amber kind of like realm.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So what we're drinking
Tobacco.
now is tobacco, like tobacco burst almost.
yeah.
Like is a
That
good
kind of
way to,
yeah.
like,
And so
describe
what
that
do we?
color. This is called the Veil of Shadows. It's a rye saison with sweet orange peel, and it was dry hopped with coffee beans.
You're right.
This is 7.5%.
Hello.
I used
Hello,
all
darling.
the sweet orange peel in my hop back. It was fermented with saison yeast, about 30% rye malt in the bill.
Okay.
It fermented real hot, like 76. So you get all that like dirt from the saison yeast, and then it was dry hopped with Indian Monsoon coffee beans, which big shout out to Roast Coffee House out in Patchogue. They taught me a lot about coffee growing up.
And you were right there over at Brick House. You used
yeah.
their stuff before, I would
Oh
assume,
yeah,
right?
yeah. We did a lot of work together over there. I'm looking forward to working with them again. They were really like the coffee shop that turned me into a coffee snob, and they really turned me on to this like Indian Monsoon coffee bean in general. It just
Is it a very unique bean? Is that why it's...
yeah, like the exact story, like I think like the beans got like washed up during like some monsoon, and they like sat it was like a whole thing, but then like
It's a war story.
Yeah, but it became a sought after bean, and like they ended up like continuously doing it, and it was kind of, it's one of those like more like full bodied coffee beans where it's not too aggressive. You get that full roast and like, you know, kind of chocolate, like quintessential coffee flavor,
Right.
But it's not like as like full bodied as like some like the Mexican or like Brazilian coffees.
So have you
My
had
guess.
this like in an actual cup of coffee?
Oh yeah.
Is that how you got onto it?
It's my favorite bean to drink like just as a cup of coffee, but
Oh, wow.
it's also like my favorite coffee to brew with.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like
Is it readily available? I'm not a coffee drinker. So.
No, neither
I don't
am
drink
I.
coffee.
I
Yeah.
actually like espresso.
I'm curious
or
for my
something
wife.
like that,
My
you
wife's
know?
a coffee
There you
drinker,
go.
so I'm
My
like,
fiance's
okay.
a coffee
Really
drinker, yeah,
dark
so-
roast,
Yeah.
harsh. I
Give it
do
a
like
K-cup.
that.
in general, I'm more that like full bodied like coffee like kind of person too. Like I like a Brazil or like a Mexican bean in general.
I like Brazilians and Mexicans too.
In general, like I'm not.
I'm not
No
gonna hate.
discrimination.
I'm not like I'm not an African coffee guy in general. Like a lot of like that stuff, it ends up just kind of getting a bit fruity. And
I
if
see
I'm looking for
Pete's gears are
coffee-
turning for a second. Sorry.
but-
He's turning red too because
Well,
he had
one
it.
Of one of the beers that I had many years ago that kind of inspired this concept. It was actually from Newburgh. It was like
Upstate Newburgh?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's the only brewery up there
Yeah, they
that I
did
know
a
of, at least.
golden sour with Ethiopian coffee, and a lot of like the African coffees.
Oh,
were
the
kind of
Newburgh
bringing
Brewing
some-
Company.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Got it.
So
I thought you meant, I didn't hear the first part, but I heard Newburgh, and I'm like, yeah, I know the town pretty well. Yeah.
because like
little
traditionally,
spot.
like brewing with coffee, you want something that's just going to be like coffee, like that roasty, that chocolatey, that quintessential coffee flavor. But reading, I was like, wait, a golden sour with Ethiopian coffee, like that makes sense. It was like kind of more fruity,
Yeah,
like
it
earthy
balances
notes.
it off
and
that.
drinking it, I was like blown away. It was, I had it actually 3 times at Hoptron. Rest in peace. Love you guys. Miss you guys.
Wait, I got quick.
Pretty sure Paul knows more about coffee than I know.
I am so lost over here.
Because I know you might know more than we do about Hoptron. Give us. I know there was a couple that was ownership, right?
Yeah, Amanda and Sue.
Yeah, and what made them give it up or
Give up
sell
the
it?
ghost.
And what is going to go there? What are they going to do?
It's a country bar.
Like
what I
what's
heard.
going
Yeah.
there? I
Is
don't
that
really
really-
want
I
to
think
talk
actually-
about it. It's really just like a shame.
Yeah, it's like a-
Well, for
it's
Great
kinda
South
sad,
Bay, it's
honestly.
called, I think, Daisy Dukes.
Bingo, marketing, selling points.
But you know, to tell you the truth, I'm not really sure why. Speaking from somebody that used to work on Main Street in Patchogue for an extremely long time. I don't know, like that town is that town.
Yes, correct.
There's a lot of glorious articles about that town, and there's a lot of great things about that town. I live in that town, so I'm not trying to like, come across
you don't
like I'm
wanna kill it.
butthurt or like I'm talking smack. But there's a lot of smoke and mirrors about that town.
Well, you
though,
can
right?
state that it's changed in the last year.
Oh yeah, like it's
I'm not going to say
changed a
why,
lot,
but it's
like,
changed in the last year.
It's changed in the last year.
Well, now
too.
I got to
this is
take
an
it.
off-air
I think we have to. Yeah, I
conversation.
think we have to take another break.
But I feel like there's an Instagram thread that I saw that may.
Well,
is
I
there a
mean,
dive bar that.
No, not that.
Not that,
It's
okay.
just.
It's a.
I live. I used to live in Patchogue. I just moved not that far away, but I go out in Patchogue all the time. I guess vibe or
Yeah.
the crowd.
Yep.
Is it the millennials? Is the
No, it's
millennials
not. It's
that-
not even that. It's just there's. I think they went from 0 to 60, and again, I'm new to this area. I only moved down here 2 years ago from the Albany area.
Are you saying the town or the people went 0 to 60?
The town.
I think the town. Like from what I understand, and you can obviously speak more. There was like 3 bars there, right, at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was 3 bars. Now there's like 36 in 3 blocks.
Yeah.
There's no parking. Like
Oh well, this is all ring. I live in Farmingdale. This is all ringing.
This is sounding familiar.
Farmingdale's like the next up and coming.
Yeah.
The Suffolk
Same-
cops
same-
are like
yeah.
like policing like Main Street now
Yep.
because like I know that was a big issue. There was like
Well, I'll put it this way: if you're
There's Farmingdale. There's no
politics
parking.
between,
I
like,
moved
the
there
village
7 years ago.
safety
There's
but
probably 8 more bars than there were when
Yeah.
I moved in.
Yeah.
if let's say if Brick House was in a different town, more like I'm gonna say like Smithtown, because that's not a well walkable town. Do you think it would have been easier than having like PSAs standing out front of the Brick House, like checking IDs and having people come in? Would have been a different vibe at Brick House
not like
before this all happened? Because you were there when it transitioned, I would imagine, right?
yeah, but I mean, like we were always checking IDs. We were
No,
like,
of
we
course,
were
but I
always-
mean, you didn't
but,
have
like,
the
you know,
big
like,
7-foot guy out front checking IDs.
Well, like honestly, like the upsetting thing is like a lot of like what built up Patchogue was built up on artists' backs, like
Correct.
between the musicians and the artists,
The theater
you know,
in
like
town.
even
Yeah,
the
that
art
theater's
space
awesome.
building
Yeah.
that popped up, like it was something like a third of your income had to be proven that like it was coming in from some form of art.
Right.
And like that was amazing. But then all of a sudden it just ended up turning into this shit show where bars were approved left and right. It didn't matter. Like and they would they would flat out say, I don't care if you're a pizza place applying next to a pizza place that like was
That's
here
totally
for 20
cool.
years.
Yeah.
Like may the best
Anything
man win.
goes. Yeah,
and like
that's
there was no
kinda
like
shitty,
brand
yeah.
loyalty, so to speak. And I'm not sitting here saying like to play favorites and I was always the first person to say, like, look, like this is a tourist attraction. The more the merrier. But you gotta have parking. You gotta have you can't expect the people that are paying taxes out the ass
And-
to like
and
have
the
like,
apartments
their,
right
their
there.
front yards
And-
turn into parking
Yep.
lots
And those people
where they
pay
can't
for
even have
parking.
their,
Yes.
their
Yeah.
neighbors.
You know.
Yeah, and it was a lot of that where like they just allowed too many of like the same type of businesses without parking lots,
Yep.
and now they're like, oh yeah, well we're gonna like add in 150 like more parking spots.
Where are they
Yeah,
going?
but
They're on the
like in the
5th
courthouse
level of the
parking lot,
apartment
but-
building.
But,
How the hell are you gonna
but
get
it's
there?
going to be like what, like a year and a half, 2 years of construction. So you're adding 150, but you're taking away 125 for
Right.
how long?
to do the
Like,
construction.
and-
Right,
and
I
then,
agree.
And then once that level, and then it's like, oh well, now we'll add a third level on eventually once we get granting and this and that, the other thing. Like even the parking meters aren't owned by the village. Most of that is like owned by some company in like California or something.
It's like the red light camera
parking
kind of shit,
meters, like,
yeah.
the village is only getting something like 20 or 25% of. So like they're paying like all like and speaking from somebody that had stupid amounts of tickets in that village, like it was like one of those things where like the village safety was going out there just giving tickets left and right, making the patrons that were going into the town butthurt. It was like, well, like I could go into Sayville or Oakdale or Belport and not deal with this
Sayville's
parking,
fun,
not
actually.
deal with this
Sayville's got some
Sayville's
good
great
bars.
now.
not deal with a 3-hour line,
Right.
like and.
And
Yeah,
just
like,
My
like,
favorite
getting
village
staffed,
zoning
like,
story is
and
Lindenhurst.
Even like
Yes.
even before like I left, like
I don't know if you know this. You
in
have
my
too much
former-
parking, Mike.
yeah, no, they have too much
There's
parking.
too much parking.
Yeah, okay. They
Village
want to do this.
Lindenhurst paid
They want to.
$50,000 for a study to figure out like how they could turn themselves into the next Patchogue or Farmingdale, like how they could increase walkability, get businesses back there. So they paid this firm to figure out like, hey, where can we put more parking? What can we do to with their zoning?
And here is the
regulations?
result: build
You have-
500 new apartments, and supply
not
no
only-
one with parking.
That's
what it is.
There's an overage of parking.
Nope.
You have 50% too many parking spots.
Well, Bayshore alone, the Northwell Health just bought those buildings. I don't know if you've been to Bayshore lately.
Yeah.
They
bought those?
Northwell Health owns all those. And there's new apartments.
Parking
I think
experts are
there's like
getting paid on that.
3 new apartments going in.
What?
In the Bayshore, yeah.
And where are they going to put that? Where are they going to put all those people in their cars?
Exactly. So
In the Northwell Health, they're going to pay a monthly fee like in the city, like you're in Queens, to park your car.
yeah, it's gonna be tough. I mean,
Jesus Christ.
Great South Bay loves Bayshore.
Everyone loves. Well, I mean, you guys aren't in the heart of that, which is
No,
good.
no.
You're kind of like on an island up
think you
there,
could
which
be.
is good.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of these towns, they're doing exactly that. They're thinking too much. Like they want to be like Patchogue, Farmingdale, Bayshore.
Yeah.
And they see that. Let me finish that before anymore. They want to. They want that money. But even though they're getting some money, it's not all the money. They got to figure out a way to keep it all local. Like you said, the meters are going to California.
I'm bad.
The meters are going to California. Why the fuck are we doing that? What's the deal? Keep it all local. You can put your own fucking parking meters in.
And that's the thing. It's like, so, like, I got to go to work and like, pay to park, but it's not even going to the town. Like,
And there's
like,
no
are you
room for
kidding me?
any of those old restaurants or bars to have their own parking spot because they're all owned by some company that's not there. That's ridiculous. I don't want that for my town. I'll tell you that right now.
And you know, there's like all these like public safety officers, but basically they're just like writing parking tickets. Like,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
No.
Like when I go out in Patchogue to do sales.
Yeah.
You know, I bounce from bar to bar to bar. You know, I make my rounds and I go see the same people a couple times. You know, whatever.
How's everything going? Checking up on things. Yeah, yeah. Sales are going well.
Yeah.
and-
Do you need this? You know, we have this new beer. Blah blah blah. But there's times where I will skip. Like I'll start out on like the West End and I'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna just I know he's there now. I'm gonna skip to like the East End. So I'll just drive down. I'll park on the street. And I've gone into a bar where I thought the guy was gonna be there. I was maybe out of my car for like 30 seconds.
Knocking on the window already?
The lady, I literally walked out, said, hey, is this guy here or this lady here? Walked back and went to get in the car, and the lady was like, oh, I just was starting to write you a ticket. And I was like, oh.
Well, why?
But I'm in my car, it started, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Well, I already started writing the ticket.
All right.
I said, well, not for nothing, but I was gone for maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Mind you, I didn't put a quarter in, but
So
I expected to.
Shouldn't be like that though. I mean,
It
that's
was-
not the way
so-
it used to be.
Yeah,
We're not
and
the way we used
So
to.
even for sales, though, it makes it a lot more
That's
difficult.
very difficult.
And I don't want to sound like somebody butthurt like leaving a town, but like like I love barbecue, I love the Curiosity Shop, I love Record Stop. Like there's a lot of great things going on in Patchogue. Like there's
I remember when
like
it was just the venue and the skate park in the back. Now the
Yeah.
skate park's
There's a
fucking
skate
gone.
park?
There used to be.
Wow.
I used to skate there all the time in high school. 1998, all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
it's just like there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and there's a lot of places like trying to be like Patchogue right now, and it's like
Don't
get
need to
your
be
parking
that.
in place. Like,
Right.
Yeah. Like look through everything. It's not like 36 bars in 3 blocks without parking. And
It's not going to help. It's
yeah.
just,
Yeah.
It's
I
going
mean,
to
like,
just.
like look at all the crime reports that like
Yeah.
like and then
Well,
that's
let's
what I was
put it
getting
this
to
way:
again.
drunk
It's like
fights,
the fact that,
stabbings,
like,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
The most reassuring thing to see that was like going on in Patchogue in the last year was seeing that like the police are going to be like going back up and down like Main Street again.
Yeah,
which
not
was nice,
independently
yeah.
hired
Yeah, and-
public security.
Yeah,
which is what it was.
Yeah, like the
When I saw the PS,
public safety.
Yeah, when I see public safety and its
And all
own
their
vehicle
cars.
patrolling the streets, I'm like,
all
eh,
6 of their vehicles.
right. I'm looking at the streets going, this is not police. Like, how can you be patrolling the streets? What are you doing? I don't know. It bothers me to see that because it's not, where are the police? And how long is it going to take there for something real to go down? These are big guys at PSA, I get it, but they're not trained police officers. Shit's going to go down. You got to be ready for it. I was working at the meatball place in Farmingdale for 2 years. Shit went down. People got stabbed. PSA guys got stabbed. Police
And
came
PSA
in after.
guys like no like
They know their shit. I'm not
they're
downplaying it.
licensed,
That's who
like,
we
you
use
know,
them at
like-
at the brewery.
Yeah.
They're great guys.
Yeah, absolutely. But there still should be some sort of police presence because it looks like the town's just going, oh, fuck it.
They're
let
not
them
actually
handle it."
law enforcement.
Right.
not to
Correct.
Unfortunately.
No, but it's not. But they know that too. I've
of
talked.
course.
I've spoken with them
No,
before.
they'll be the first guys to tell you.
Yeah, no, I can't arrest
They know
anybody.
that
I can.
they know they're the first guys to call the cops.
They break things up, but they can't
Exactly.
detain, they can't hold, and they can be a witness, and that's about it. So it's
Yeah.
tough. You got to have that real presence in order to keep order in town and to keep even so the businesses from not just bouncing out, because that's too much for some of these guys to handle. It's too much of the nonsense sometimes. The town turned into more like a get drunk and fight town.
Yeah, and like
which is
even
what
to a certain
Farmingdale
degree
has
from,
become
from
too.
the business standpoint too. Like when the businesses already are employing their own security guards, and then they have to have another bunch of security guards on. Like, at
right.
one
So
point,
it comes
like,
with a
does-
financial burden,
does,
too.
Like,
Yeah.
like the village now like take responsibility, like because there was a lot of blaming like on the businesses, and a lot of the businesses like they'd have all the security like more than they like were required to have. Like everybody was tip certified, this, that, the other thing, but when people are pre-gaming in the parking lot.
Yeah.
No, but like
No, you're right.
Even like the last 2 years.
But
like,
you had the
working there,
apartments.
like,
I
If they
literally
are,
could be 10
hopefully
feet
they're drinking
away
Great South Bay.
and drinking all day in my apartment and
And
bringing
ghosts
down the whole
once
people.
they-
yeah, and
You're right.
But even those apartments are like cost so much money, they can only afford to go out so many
Right,
times. a week,
yeah.
They're
They're not even going out
But,
that much.
but that was the thing. It was like as the town built up, you actually started to notice just like it wasn't necessarily like more and more money like being spent in businesses, which like I'm sure it was, but like in the parking lots, you would see on Friday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, Monday morning, just empty boxes of 12 packs, 18 packs, 36 packs in the parking lot where people are.
Great South
are
Bay doesn't make a
pre-gaming
36
and they're
pack.
stumbling.
Wait a second. Well, if I buy a few sixes, and I go, 6 sixes,
I like that,
please.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, we did talk about that. But
triple
I think it, the parking, everything, and I'm not saying that the craft beer drinkers are a different clientele by any means. It is a different clientele.
It is.
But, I think all those factors, it deteriorates. People don't want to deal with that kind of stuff.
No.
Whether it's even, honestly, I know, like, my college buddies, they drank Miller Lite, Coors Light, Bud Light. That's,
Right, sure.
you know. And I know for a fact they wouldn't want to deal with that. But then you've got people that are going to be paying $7 a pint for
Or
a craft
more.
beer, or more. That's definitely not what they want to deal with.
No, fuck no.
They want to go have a
And a
nice
nice
time.
experience.
Exactly. They want to have a nice beer, relax, basically
able to hear
forget
the
about
person
everything.
next to you.
Yeah, and a lot of
Yes.
those people go out and patch out like Monday through Thursday, and then Friday through Sunday, it's.
I have a
shit show
really great
territory,
story for you. So my wife, her birthday is on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. This was before I worked at the Meatball Place in Farmingdale. We went out to the Meatball Place in Patchogue on March 17th. So you can figure out what happened there.
That's like going to Bayshore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
You know what to expect.
So
Like
it ends
one
up my
building.
in-laws my in-laws sold their house to one of the managers at the Meatball Place. So they became kind of friendly for some weird reason. And they are able to get a table and get whatever we want when we want. It's kind of how I got the job too, which so we go out to Patchogue, we go park in the back, and we start to walk through the alleyway. And in the alleyway, there are several people just throwing up all over the place. Now, I have my 2 small kids with me, by the way. My whole family, my in-laws.
I already know what alleyway
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, you know which one it is. So,
yeah.
So we walk the long way around the block and coming back around the front. And, of course, the doors are open. And the security guard stops us right at the doors and goes, "You don't want to come in this way." And we're like, "No, we have a reservation. We really did." Now, they had the back portion open where they had a satellite bar set up. So shit was still going on. And there were a couple of people that had reservations for dinner that night. So they ended up kicking everybody out. They brought us into the back. But if you know the Meatball Place, the alleyway to the bar, to the bathrooms, come right by that little back area.
The back entrance you're talking
Correct.
about.
Yeah, exactly. And in that entrance, as we're sitting, I'm watching people throw up in the hallway. I'm watching a guy and a girl make out, and another guy finger bang another girl within about 5 feet from my kids. And I was like, well, we'll probably never come out here again with family. And just it's not what I want from. And the restaurant was okay. I mean, I ended up working there for a while. Not that one, but the Farmingdale one. And it's fine. Otherwise, at night, you know what to expect. So don't bring your kids then. But like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock on I guess St. Patrick's Day is. I know. It sounds stupid, but you should be
Finger
able to.
banging your girlfriend in St. Patrick's Day just go hand in hand.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean-
don't know what you.
She wanted some Irish in her, and she got it. So that's what it ended up being. But it was just interesting. I know.
Yeah,
did
no,
I bring the
you
show
know,
down with
it's-
the finger banging?
I mean, it's a different angle. We could talk about beer instead of finger.
Right,
Isn't
but
that a South Park album?
But I want yes,
Finger
it is.
bang?
finger bang, old finger bang. No, but I want. But the reason why we also
band
went there is
episode.
because my wife knows I like a decent beer, and they have a decent lineup there. So it was something that we picked. Both for her and for me. So that's why we choose some of the restaurants and places we go because of the craft beer list and because of the food. And it goes hand in hand. I go to Restoration a lot because of the lineup they have there and the food that they serve. We go to restaurants just because of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
That's what people do. That's what
You
the
also
craft
try
beer
friend of the
industry
show,
does.
FM Beauty, and American Beauty Bistro.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's just so much
Shameless
that goes
plug.
into that that I like to party, hell yeah. But even at a younger age, I didn't like to fucking go crazy. These kids are just going nuts for no reason.
When you party, do you party hard?
I party hard. But I don't party that hard. Like, I party hard for me, and I don't need to finger bang my girlfriend in the hallway. I'll just take her back to my house because I'm an adult, and I want to do it, like, nicely.
Can we get off the finger bang topic?
I'm sorry. You brought it up again, just to let you know. But that's what I'm saying. Like, these towns really need to kind of figure out a way to do that. Now, I'm in a town now, and Pete grew up in the town of Lyndhurst, and they're all looking to add apartments, add restaurants, add bars, add all this.
I heard that too. Yeah.
27A's in the town, Sand City's coming to the town, WA Works in the town. So they have the right elements,
Yeah.
but they can't do what they're doing. That's just saturate it, throw everything at it, and then just hope for the best. It's not
Yeah.
going to add to value to the housing market or anything. It's just going to create clutter and nonsense,
Yeah.
and everyone's going to get pissed off and get out of there.
Like Ronkonkoma with the expansion of the railroad.
Oh, right.
One of our warehouse manager, shout out James, great guy. He
Call us, 516-465-3990,
think he's on a
513-0515.
I didn't say date James. I apologize. Just grabbing drinks. But
There's no labels.
he lives in Ronkonkoma, and he was saying that they're doing that expansion, and they put in a bunch of apartments by the train hub there, and they're expecting businesses and businesses and businesses, and even he was like, it's great, it's awesome. Like, his property value has gone up,
Right.
but he goes, parking, who's coming into town now to go there on the train? How many businesses are really going to go? Because if they go from 0 to 100 overnight, it ain't going to work. He was saying, if there's a plan, he's all for it. But if it just goes, like you said, you just throw, shit against the wall.
Apartments,
Yeah.
restaurants, bars, make it happen.
Yeah.
It'll work itself out.
Yeah.
It usually does, and it usually ends up being a shit show.
So he's, he lives around Konkoma. He likes the area, but he was saying, again, if they just expect it to happen overnight and say it does, he's like, it ain't gonna work.
Right.
It's not gonna. There's just gonna be complaints on complaints on complaints, and then what's gonna happen is businesses are gonna close, and it's just gonna be heavier recycle almost.
Right. A lot of the older people in the town won't want to be there. They'll move out. They'll find
Yep.
apartments other places in quieter neighborhoods.
Yep.
You'll fill the town more with multifamilies living in one house, and you'll drive down the housing market in the end. It might spike at one point because of the amount of restaurants and whatever.
Yeah.
But at one point that's going to reach ahead and just drop considerably.
Yeah.
I can see it for Patchogue. Give it 10, 15 years, and it's going to be back to where it was back in the 80s and 90s.
And that's the biggest thing. Like, that was like my biggest fear. Like, just watching this all go down. It's like, do you guys hear yourselves? It's like, so like you okayed all these new businesses before the parking garage. By the time you get the parking garage, these businesses are gonna
May
start
not
to
be
close
here.
because they wouldn't have been able to sustain themselves. And then just like the parking garage that they had prior, it's going to come down because it wasn't being used and it was just
Correct.
taking up space.
Where is this said
And
parking garage going, by the way?
behind the courthouse.
Behind the courthouse.
Like you know the courthouse parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That giant spot that's like 125 spots.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Like on
close
the
that
west
off.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I
Like
know.
right across from like the bargain village or whatever, like the marine.
Oh, yeah,
store.
like- yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
right
really
where they
like
moved that library. Like,
Yes,
so
correct.
that 125 spots or 100 spots, whatever it is, they're gonna close that off, build 2 floors.
Mm-hmm.
That will add 150 spots, and then I think eventually they'll add a 3rd floor that'll add another 100.
But then
But-
people still have to walk quite a ways if they want to
Yeah,
get.
that's not exactly that close.
No,
actually.
it's not centralized at all.
At the end of the day, I think most of the businesses are just like, give me a garage. I don't care where it is. But at the same token, it's like, but if you're gonna close down 125 spots
Right.
for it's going to be at least 2 years. I think that's
At
a
least.
pretty safe guesstimate. You know, to gain 150, it's like, well, now who's paying for that? The businesses
And where are they
in-house
going?
paying for that. Where are those cars going?
Where are those 150s
all
going?
These businesses that you just like brought into the town.
You know you're going to
Like,
cross
where-
over a summer season where they're going to need every spot they can get.
And that's the thing. Even like not
Live
for nothing,
after
even
5?
the locals, if the locals
Live
if it's
after
raining,
5?
they're not
Yeah.
walking still. You know
No.
what I'm saying?
No, they're not.
And that's the whole thing.
Because I know people that live. I don't know the name, but you know where James Joyce is in town there.
Yeah, South Ocean.
South Ocean. You take South Ocean all the way. There's people that I know that park for Alive by the or Alive After 5 already that are all the way down in that marina.
Yeah.
So
they're walking in for like a half an hour.
Yeah,
To get in there.
So if you close
That's
that
ridiculous.
parking, that's there you go. That's like you said, 100 or 20 your spots. That's a lot.
And like I said, at a certain point, like I just feel like they kind of like shot themselves in the foot a little bit. It's like less is more. And I'm not. Yeah, I was always the first person to say like, yeah, all these new businesses like we're a tourist attraction. We have the train station. We have this, that, the other thing. But
Come see our beautiful train station here in lovely Patchogue.
No, like as far as like
no, I know what
getting
you're saying
down
though.
there and whatnot.
Take
but,
the train
but
to the game.
But at the same token, though, it's like you still need parking. Like we're literally driving people to Sayville. Like,
well,
They're going there because I
yeah.
go there now because it's less.
They have those little buses.
you gotta flip that mic on there.
hi,
buddy.
Grazie.
Is the mic on?
Yes,
You know,
now
I
it
learned
is.
a couple of things. It's Graz. What did we learn? I
Yes.
learned that my application for the strip club, 2 of them in Patchogue, is going to go through.
It's gonna go right through. Then I'm gonna care.
Right through.
I found
A
out
strip
that
club
Great
across the
South
street from the
Bay
strip club.
loves 36 packs.
Yes.
And I love
Contemplating 36 packs.
Like so you get
contemplating.
36 pack service, like instead of bottle service. you just
Yeah,
get, like,
and I also know that Great South
At only
Bay
the
loves
classiest of strip
Bayshore.
joints.
Yes.
Great South Bay loves Bayshore.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And what I finally learned is that Pete and Mike at the fucking Great American Beer Festival
Nope.
were finger banging each other in the
Yeah.
bathroom.
that's
Right.
okay.
Doesn't make us bad people.
2019.
As long as it was consensual, that's
Yeah,
okay.
well, Pete needs it. Ease the fucking nerves a little bit.
Nah, he's fine.
I get stressed out.
He needs to.
All this talk
unleash
about
the beast.
planning does. Babylon last year had stopped issuing any business licenses for a bar or a restaurant.
Yeah.
You could not open a new one unless it was replacing an existing one.
Okay.
So
I think that's been in effect for a while in Babylon, to be honest. Like
Yes,
Babylon's a good size. And I
Yeah.
mean, they don't have parking really either.
They have no
and
parking.
that's the thing. Like I've heard a lot of
which is
people
why I think they're not
complain-
attracting any new bars or restaurants because
They have some great places there too.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
it's
Villager.
I think
Post
a lot
office is over there. That's a staple.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
Local.
know what? It's like the Library Cafe with Farmingdale. It's a staple, and then everything
What do you
else
think?
branched off from the Library Cafe. We saw the Dark Horse
Well,
coming
weren't
in
they
there.
one of the originals library?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They were the
Because
staple.
they're right there
They're
on the
they're
corner of
reasons.
Main Street and
Everybody
Hempstead.
would go there, and then they switch over. Then they brought in Croxley's.
Yep.
Then they brought in the Nutty. Then they brought in.
Well, the downtown was up there. If you remember, the downtown had really great concerts. They had major bands that would come
Wait,
through
wasn't
there.
it downtown in Farmingdale?
Sorry, nope.
That was
Thinking of
Croxley's.
what's the
Yeah.
one up? Yeah,
Well,
Croxley's.
yeah,
so
formerly
Croxley's was
downtown,
the
now
downtown,
Croxley's.
yeah.
That's
right in
Farmingdale.
between was
Right.
across from it.
Oh, I thought we were talking about.
I thought we were
Babylon.
talking about
Sorry.
you know what I'm
too,
thinking
yeah.
of? I'm thinking of Crazy Donkey.
That
which
was also
on
on
Farmingdale.
110.
It was Farmingdale
It was
too,
on
on
110 though.
110. Yeah.
But no, I'm also thinking of downtown. Downtown has some
Italian
really great
restaurant.
It's what like basically the Village Pub in Amityville is now, or Revolution or something
Village,
like that.
no, Village Pub South
Pub.
is now Amityville Music Hall.
And-
Right, that's right.
and-
See,
yeah.
Yeah, and they did such a phenomenal job, like turning that place into like what it always deserved to be.
Right.
That was
a
like
better
my,
sounding
like,
venue than a shit fucking just mess,
Yeah,
like a
like,
basement
and-
show, which is what it was for a very
But
long
like
time.
it was always like poorly run. This, that, the other thing. Like those were like dudes from the scene.
Yes.
That took it back, turned it into what it deserved to be. That was basically like my hometown venue. And,
Yeah.
It's like it's like Govs Radio and O'Toole.
Yes. No, I grew up in Amityville. It was a
yeah.
walkable
And
distance
they
for
have,
me
like,
when I was in.
legitimate like acts like that
Yes.
will have like intimate shows.
4
there,
Year
like-
Strong came through, and I went, "Are you fucking kidding me? 4 Year Strong came through. Like that's a legitimate act.
Who?
National tour. Well, you don't know that.
This is Revolution, right?
Dude, I
Mike?
saw Cursive there. Like,
yeah, no, Amity Music Hall, which was Village Pub South, which was something else even before that, and I forget what the name of it was then. But I have
anybody
ticket
take
stubs there
over
from
the
like
Bulldog?
1998. I
Yeah.
used to walk in there and see like
I
an
don't think
underground
so.
show, local show, whatever
the place
it was.
that burnt down, Bulldog.
Yeah.
I think it's still closed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's for sale.
See,
I
I
should
think
say.
that would be a nice place for one of the big boys to
Well, here's
put a
the problem:
bar in.
you have to demo that place. It got gutted, and what the village is trying to do, being an Amiable boy, I know a little bit, and my parents are just they're trying to level it and have more space for Amity, Jeep, Dodge, and Nissan to have parking spots so they can show off more cars.
Aren't they squatting on a piece of property
Dude,
right
they
now?
have 5 different lots now on 110 right by my house.
Was that Security
Gotta
Dodge?
park those
Yeah.
cars that
Squatting.
you're not
There's
selling.
like there's a business across the street from them that went defunct.
Yep.
No one owns the lot.
Nope.
So they just started parking fucking cars there.
Well,
Yes.
here's the ironic part about
They
it.
actually like leveled the area too. They went ahead and leveled it themselves. I'm like, well, since we leveled it, now it's ours. Now we get to park all our shit there.
But we're not going to pay any.
No,
any
no one's
taxes
paying
or
taxes
bills
on
or
it.
anything.
And ironically, the general manager comes into this station all the time.
Of the Bulldog?
No,
Amity Security Dodge.
Of Security Dodge
Yes.
is Emily Santosis.
Yes, yep.
Who's a transgender comic.
Yes, she is.
She's a big shot over there.
I met with her one of the off days when I came through, and we were talking a little bit about Amityville, and she said she actually supported that idea that they were going to try to buy more land to park more cars.
There's one in Farmingdale too. That they or on the border. Yeah, no. There's on 109. There's another fucking lot for them.
Is
Another
there? They
pad
probably
site,
have a satellite lot where they bring them
Yeah.
in. Well, that's where they're storing them for now, and they probably want to get rid of that and bring it down to the Bulldog. The village needs like Sayville. It feels like you have the main area, but then
Yeah.
there's also these little spots around there that are also very good.
Yeah, of course.
Small Craft opened up, great brewery,
Yeah.
great little spot. There's a couple of restaurants there on Merrick Road, but they need again a couple more good restaurants in the village area, in the bounds or whatever you want to call it, to kind of really push it a step further. And that's another town that's looking to do what everyone else is doing too. They're looking to bring in restaurants and bars, and they have some good restaurants. Victorio's is actually really good.
This is Amityville?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I heard
the
that
Irish
too.
place, and I have I don't know.
Carney's?
Carney's, thank you. Very
I
good.
went to
Very
Christening
good.
or something there. It was very good.
Hey, Paul,
Yeah.
do you think with Padjock really bringing in 36 different bars and whatever it is, Farmingdale's like on the same path? And what I'm
Farmingdale
scared
was
about,
first, actually.
But here's what I'm sgrassed about, Paul. There was
Yeah,
all
because
these big
Grassy Day's
shots-
in Farmingdale as well.
Yeah, I live in Farmingdale too. They talk about these recession coming in, and if a recession comes in, that means less people are going to go out and eat and drink. So
absolutely.
So I just think it's the market is saturated all over the place. I think you go down to the village of Farmingdale, like you said before. There's 4 or 5 pizzerias on the same block.
Yeah,
They all
and,
fucking suck too.
That's the thing. Like at the end of the day,
Well, no, Dan's not on the station anymore, so yeah, it's fine. You can say it.
I used to work at a deli that was in a strip mall, and there was a Chinese restaurant
In
by-
Farmingdale or
no in Hicksville.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, but there was a Chinese restaurant next to us, and not that I like own the deli or anything, but it was in the
Part
deli's
ownership.
lease that like we basically like weren't allowed to use like teriyaki sauce. Like we can like serve
What?
anything that like became anything close to like
Because
being
of the-
Chinese food.
Really?
But like at the end of the day, like if you're a strip mall owner,
Yeah.
you're not going to put two similar businesses in the same strip mall because now you're competing against yourself.
Right.
And that's the whole concept where it's like, all right, short term, all right, cool, this pizza place is going to come in and like pay rent for a couple months. But for the greater sake of the town, like if there's 4 other pizza places on that same block,
Right.
does that really make sense? And, and then, a lot of landlords play games where it's like, well, I'm going to evaluate like my property to be this much, and then because I'm not able to rent it out, now I'm going to get like this.
Yeah,
There
Yeah,
are
and,
4
like,
fucking
and all
pizza
those,
places
like-
on Main Street, aren't there?
You counting
No,
on
I
this?
did.
Well, no, I'm not
That's
kidding you.
stupid.
There's
but,
Creations.
it-
There's the Main
it's
Street
kinda
Pizza
like
Company.
There's a
those
new one that
things-
just started. There's Frankie's East Side Pizza. There's Gino's.
That's
Are they
it.
all the same?
Mike, something stopped here. This thing
There's
turned
Gino's
around.
Creations.
Nothing went away. I'm
Main
literally
Street Pizza Company, and
I'm on it.
Okay.
I'm the
I
one
get
that's doing
nervous,
it.
Michael.
No, don't worry about it.
That was the
And
thing, like with
Frankie's-
Patchogue
oh,
in
God, we
particular,
had
like
some
is
music.
that like you would see something come in that would be popular, then all of a sudden, a year and a half later, there was like triples,
2 of those.
quadruples of that. Like
Right.
Like how like do we?
Here's a
need,
new Mexican restaurant. Oh, let's bring in 3 more Mexican
so,
restaurants.
My
do
question
we need
is, are you
5
nervous?
ice cream shops in the same 3 block
Yes,
radius?
yeah.
Apparently, somebody thought we did. You know, like
Who said we wanted that?
And that's the thing. It's like,
Are you nervous,
while some of
Paul?
those were really great businesses
No,
and they were
Paul-
cool concepts, but like, do we need 6 of those? Do we need, like that? And,
How many cupcake shapes?
Like 3 cupcake shapes. No, but like
How many is
It's
enough?
true.
Like,
Or
but at one point,
donut
there was,
shops.
Like 4 shops like selling cupcakes.
Yeah.
I think Farmingdale
And,
needs a donut shop, but that's another story.
But like that's the thing. Like
What do you do to change it? What do you guys do? Now, what do you do to
Open
make
up a
sure
donut
that you're
shop myself.
To make sure you're a destination where they're going to want to go to Ghost and Great South Bay?
Well, you've been to the brewery, right?
Drink what's in your glass, and that'll speak for itself
Yes, you've
as
been to
far
both.
as Great South Bay goes.
So
No, I meant that in a compliment. You have to make it a destination.
Believe it or
for you
not,
guys,
Graz
right?
toured the facilities of the Fire Island Brewery when it was Fire Island, so he has.
I can't wait to show you what it looks like now, bro.
Ooh,
I wanna
Yeah?
a little before and after.
How is anybody know where
No,
Dan
no,
is?
Dan is somewhere. So
right.
you know where they are is what I'm saying. So you
So
know
asking
they're kind
what
of
we
not
do to-
in the village.
Yeah.
You guys have your own spot, your own kind of I'm over here now kind of
Yeah.
moment. So you can kind of develop that. Do you see any plans for any like development up by where you are, north of Sunrise and Southern State?
I would honestly say there's not most likely anything.
Now, did Entenmann's close? Or are they in the midst of on their way down? What was the?
I think they've downsized.
Downsized,
I guess
okay.
would probably be the correct terminology.
Yeah, from what I heard,
I know
they're,
there's
like,
trucks
partially
there.
open,
Yeah,
they're
but
not
there's
doing
not
yeah.
what it used to be, obviously. kind of
I would
thing.
assume the production is now a little bigger somewhere else, and
Exactly.
that this is just a satellite.
Yeah, it's probably now instead of a manufacturing
Distro.
It's probably they drop stuff off there and then just put it on different trucks.
Yeah.
Is it too much gluten? Is that the problem?
All
those
of the
gluten
Too much gluten for Long
You'd
Island.
be surprised how many emails I get a day about when's your gluten beer coming out.
Really?
Oh man,
Does
you have
Actually,
one
all of
coming
our
out?
beers have glutens.
Do you have a gluten-free beer?
we do
coming out?
not.
Thank
anything
goodness.
on the
We've
horizon?
thought about it. If anything, it would be a tasting room exclusive.
Right.
But
Now, do you have a small?
it's hard. As a sales guy,
yeah, it's hard to sell.
You should make a gluten-free, alcohol-free beer too.
The problem is there's not
called
enough
water.
people that have to have it.
yeah.
There's not a lot of people that don't care but will only drink that. There's no reason to when you can drink it and not worry about it.
The other issue is, I don't even think the gluten-free drinkers notice, but they're probably drinking a gluten-removed beer, not gluten-free.
Right.
What is the difference?
So, like, one of my good friends, he has celiac disease, so he is allergic to gluten. So he actually doesn't drink period solely because if it's gluten...
You don't know
yeah,
what they're doing.
if it's
to
gluten
it.
removed, it's,
Roll the
there could be
dice.
traces.
Okay.
That if you're like that allergic, it's a health cautious.
Right.
You could die.
And even that, there's only so much of a consistency level where, like, technically, like, some batches you could be okay on, and some batches, like, might give you a reaction depending on, like, your tolerance and sensitivity to it.
And I know
that'd be really tough to have, this lifestyle, and then all of a sudden try to have a beer and all. Oh my God, this had it. And
That's
go
what-
through,
that's what happened to him. He I think at 23, so he just was drinking. We were having drinks, and big craft guy. We were drinking. Me and my buddies back home used to, we'd each buy a 4-pack, and I'd take one can, you'd take another, kind of thing. And like a week later, all of a sudden he's like, "Hey guys, I can't make it this Friday," and we're like, "All right, you're busy.
I'm
whatever."
dying, bro.
Yeah, he goes, no, like, I'm gonna come, but I just can't drink the beer. And he tried different ciders and everything, and a lot of them don't even state that they're gluten removed. They just say gluten free.
Right. Which means there's still some sort of remnants
there
sitting
could be.
there.
There could be, or there is.
Or is there a chemical that removes it, if I'm not mistaken?
I think
something in the process?
I believe, like, it's an enzyme that, like,
Enzyme,
breaks it
right,
down.
right.
But even that, it's not technically, like, it's like technically gluten reduced.
Yes,
right. So if
yes.
you are highly sensitive,
you could have a big problem.
You could have a big problem.
Yeah.
So does your friend just stick with cocaine these days?
He's
yeah, buddy.
Yo, couch.
not to plug.
I was waiting for Graz to jump in there. He's like, wait a second.
Yeah, really.
Where are we?
Cupcakes fucking good.
So now that guy can never drink a beer again unless they go gluten free.
He doesn't even risk it at this
Cocoa
point.
nibs aren't gluten free though, dude.
Yeah.
He
It's
basically
like high gluten.
He basically just said, "I'm gonna not drink beer any longer."
So I mean, that's got to be like devastating at 23. You said,
yeah, 23 is when he started. But I think that's one of the concerns I have, at least when I see those emails.
Yeah.
Of course, you want to offer, like we offer Riverhead cider at our place,
right? Who is gluten free?
Who is gluten free? Right. We offer Pump House wine for non-beer drinkers also. But if we are to do a gluten free beer, I don't want to have that liability. I don't think Paul or Greg, our head brewer, would want to have that liability.
It's a lot more pressure on the system as far as because
and again,
that line's got to be clean.
That consistency that we spoke about earlier, that I think in terms of a removed, especially, I think you're really playing with fire almost. You don't really,
The
That's
thing
scary.
is too is
yeah,
like,
of course.
Most beer yeasts are propagated on malt or like gluten based liquid. So like unless you're going with a completely like wine based yeast, which now you're not getting these like beer flavors or like with the market now there's the yeast options are a little bit easier, but even taking a yeast that was propagated off of like a gluten-based liquid and then using that to ferment a quote-unquote gluten-free beverage to somebody with a sensitive enough allergy, that could be enough to like...
That's enough.
Wow.
That is enough.
Yeah.
That's enough to send them to the hospital.
Why don't even risk it?
Like to a certain degree, it's almost like
so
nut allergy
cocaine
level
would
stuff
be safer.
Just to reiterate.
But that's why we have the gluten-free options, at least at GSB, and I know he's going to have...
And as you guys hold a farm license, am I correct?
So we have a farmhouse license.
Because of that, then you can bring in locally sourced, ciders and wines.
Potato vodka could be another...
Yeah,
but
we actually on our back bar during the busier time during the winter, we opened the back bar just because of an influx of customers, and we actually we have candelabrum here, the rum aged pumpkin, but but that beer is aged on Long Island spirits out in Aquabog, I believe. Aquabog, correct?
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah. So we use their rum barrels, but we use we make mixed drinks sometimes. Again, mainly because we like to offer an option for non-beer drinkers. We don't want people coming in, like if you guys said, hey, let's go to GSB, and I'm sitting there like, I'm not a big craft beer person. Like, we want to offer everything to everybody. We don't want to,
And you got a big enough facility now to hold everyone and their mother and their
especially
dog.
when it's nice out on the weekends.
Yeah, and another brewery. And so much so,
that you'll be able to walk to, not go outside. So.
Chocolate porter.
Yeah, so that's the other thing, because I know as we walked along, you have to try that one. You have to, you guys have built a walkway because I remember coming in from the outside on the backside.
Yeah, okay.
And then from the front side, I knew that you can get through, but through the...
It's through a door, yeah. But
once we're open, like the walkway will officially be open. It's like semi through the production area. It'll be drunk-proofed with railings and whatnot.
No such thing, Paul. No such thing as drunk-proof.
There's no finger banging in between the breweries?
No, definitely not.
We've learned from Punktoberfest there's no such thing as drunk-proof.
Yeah.
And Bayfest and all those events.
You put your finger in my barrel's bungholes and we're going to have a fucking problem, right?
Is that what's going on Punktoberfest? God damn it.
Technically, bunghole is an official term.
It is a term.
It is, 100%.
But yeah, I mean... Once they get their license and their tasting room's open, it's gonna be.
Ooh, actually, you did good.
There you go.
Well played, Chris.
Better than I did.
Checkmate.
I don't think there's many breweries in the country that will have two tasting rooms, two different breweries in the same building.
No.
Area 2 roads, maybe if they're next to each other, but you probably will have to walk outside. Ours will most likely be.
Because of Connecticut's shitty laws, more than likely. No, in Connecticut.
Allegash is close. Bissell Brothers is like across the street.
You have Springdale and Jack's Abbey across the street, too. Yeah,
okay.
But they're not in the same
What is
facility.
that?
Very good, isn't
that?
That's the afterlife. It's a Kentucky Common aged on cocoa nibs and cherries.
Oh, my God. That is fantastic.
Remember when you called in like, who's that cocoa nib?
Yeah, that's cocoa nibs? Wow, that is fucking great, man. I tell you, man, you get brewers in here, and every single one just keeps getting better and better.
Right?
I'm telling you.
How'd you like the chocolate porter?
The chocolate porter for me, look at my face. I got it got very red, but I enjoyed it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
you're
like
red too a little bit.
Well,
it's the alcohol. We're not allowed to drink. We're not supposed to drink.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't turn on the air
Goddamn
conditioner. It's hot in
dermatologist.
here. It really is.
Fat guys don't really like hot. You know what I mean? Fat guys.
No, we
fat
don't.
guy- oh, wait. Hold on, somebody's calling me.
Okay, there you go.
No,
Oh, my
like
God.
I've
a
seen
loud
like the
fucking
multi
ringer,
brewery
man.
thing in like one building, like more so like on the West Coast. I think a lot of that has to do with like their like food laws as far as
Yeah,
food,
yeah.
this,
What they
that, the
can and
other
cannot
thing.
do, yeah.
But as far as I know, I think we are
can't
like
think
the
of
first
any,
venture on
at
Long
least off the top of
Island
my head.
to do this like in one building.
We follow a
Long
shit
Beach?
ton of breweries and look at it, and
Long Beach with Flying Belgian, would that be?
they might be at one point, but are they? Is Flying
I'm not
Belgium
familiar
actually
with that,
having?
They have a tasting
arrangement
room, I guess, is the real
personally.
question.
Not
or
yet.
are they just contracting?
like-
out of
Okay,
there?
so
Like when I went out to, I
Well,
think
actually,
like
it's
my
not-
first
I
experience
don't know.
with
yeah,
it was out in Portland, Oregon, going out to Cascade Barrel House at a CBC, and they had 2 additional sour-only breweries pouring in their tasting room, which like had their own like little separate mini
Dedicated
tasting rooms,
space, yeah.
and with the restaurant in the middle. And then shortly after that, which clearly I don't remember the names of any of the breweries, we went to another like triple header where it was 3 different breweries where it was. You turned a corner and you were in another brewery, and the restaurant was literally in the center of the building. And
That sounds fun.
yeah, it was amazing. Like coming from the
You're in
food
one
business
place and you could
originally,
go
I was
from
just
this
like,
to that
I was
to
like, oh my
this.
god, this is like a restaurateur's wet dream. It's like, wait, you want to give me 3 different bars businesses?
Yeah, really.
Like,
Cheers.
And cheers, and
Cheers.
Grazi.
Nice to see you. All right.
Take care,
It's funny you say that because
You wanna
I
take a
had
couple of
this.
chocolate porters?
I pass it all the time. There's a place down in West Babylon at the
You can't have it.
South Bay Mall. No, that's on Deer Park. It's the one that's down on
in West
Merrick
Bab?
Road in West Bab. Old Navy's there. It's the Red Robin's there now.
I know exactly.
about it?
I know
National Wholesale
like,
Liquidators.
yeah.
Used to be
across,
Caldor.
right across from Looney Tunes, right?
Yes, correct. All right. So the National Wholesale Liquidators building has been
It used to be
empty
a Caldor.
for
Oh,
yeah,
Caldor
for
back in the day.
I want to
grew up in
say
Copiague, so.
yeah, there you go. It used to be
There used to be,
it
like,
was
3
vacant for
bits.
like 15 years now. Can you imagine if you set up like some sort of Taste of New York
Yeah.
kind of thing there? Where you had a couple of different tasting rooms with different breweries that could go in,
That's-
and a couple of restaurants in that same under the same roof.
that's like the New York
Why don't you
Brewers
drive
Association, the event we had at Belmont.
Yeah.
Drive a food
that-
truck into the brewery.
Yeah, just well, they could now,
We thought about just putting like a to-go window in
right?
the wall,
Yeah,
so you don't actually have to go outside
you don't
because
even go anywhere,
that's a little loophole.
right?
But,
Sure. It's still
Maybe I should have mentioned
It's
that.
1 inch separate, but
Yeah.
it's still separate.
but yeah, I mean, I know I've talked to Paul about this and about that space. I guess.
Yeah.
The New York, what was it? The New York State Brewers Association. Mm-hmm. We did the first ever event down here
Okay.
at Belmont.
And like September.
September.
10th it was?
Caldor is
Like,
completely
yeah,
out of business. That is
But-
Oh yeah.
But
question.
that
Oh,
was
yeah, totally, dude.
Didn't realize.
it was at Belmont during track season.
Yeah.
Big horse guy. So
I used to film for them. Those spires out on the track. I used to
Okay.
be in a camera well up there.
nice.
Hours just sitting up there with a camera, just sitting.
Oh,
I did
really?
Belmont, I did Aqueduct, and I did Saratoga for 1 year.
That's where I basically grew up in Saratoga.
Oh,
so
so yeah, then
I got
that's
the
why.
app on my phone.
Have you been down to the Downs?
No, I haven't.
I've been
No.
there twice now.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fucking cool.
I don't know if I
It's
can
one of
handle
the-
that.
It's like going to your favorite
Just 'cause I
baseball
would be-
field. It's
yeah,
like
I
going
would
to your
be in,
favorite
like-
football field.
yeah.
I mean, I didn't grow up on horse racing. My dad always loved it. But I, at times in my career as I was doing like a bunch of freelance jobs,
Yeah.
I was working for Naira. And
Oh,
for
cool.
about, 14 months, about a year and a couple of months, I was up in those spires. It was so cool. And it's a very alone feeling
Of course.
when you're up there.
You're
for
up high, right?
You're 3-4 stories on a
Yeah.
ladder on scaffolding.
Yeah.
And you're just in a big tube.
Yeah.
And you have a camera and a headset, and your only friend is the headset. And they're like, keep your mouth shut. Like, I wanted to talk. I'm like, hi, how's everyone doing out there? Is everyone okay? Okay, I'm great. I'm good. It's so lonely, but then when it starts and you can feel the horses run around the track.
You
and
get your
just feel-
vibration?
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All the way up the
So
the tower.
my dad,
Cool.
my dad grew up on. My grandma brought him every day to the tracks in Saratoga.
Ah, there you go.
That was his daycare, as he likes to call it.
It's beautiful. Yeah, because you can. It's such a big open
You just
space.
go run around. It's
everything's
not.
everywhere.
It's not like Belmont. By
And no
any
one gave a
means.
shit.
Nope.
And no.
They
The
still-
kids
they-
are all running up and down the
They
stands.
still don't care.
No. that's true.
But actually, craft beer related, I'm in a craft beer trading group out of Albany.
Oh, okay.
On Facebook, which be nicer to the Wort.
Yeah. Oh, they're not being nice?
Well, they locked you guys out.
Oh no,
You
it's
guys,
it's not
basically.
them. It's they locked the whole Governor's Radio out.
Oh,
it's not
okay.
just us.
Oh, not just you.
Oh
Okay.
no, it's
I
all
thought it was
13
just
shows.
you guys.
No,
Wow,
no.
okay.
It's the whole station got locked out.
So back to the beer aspect. Saratoga Track is actually one of the biggest spots to meet to trade beers. Upstate, yeah.
That's kinda cool.
A lot of people like to go and
Show up with a trunk full of beer.
Yeah, and it's a big trading spot.
I never knew that.
They like to go and exchange beers, have a good time, and bet on some ponies. Brings it all back to beer.
Yeah. All roads do lead back to beer.
Exactly.
You have to pee, don't you?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Yeah, I got
It's
to
a
pee
good
so
time.
bad.
Cool.
Graz, you all right?
He left.
All right. So, this is the Word, Mike at GovsRadio.com. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this.
Power of love is a curious thing. Make one
it might take days. Those stress cracks in the wood, how nicely they soak up the stains. Just give me medicine, prescribe me anything. Just knock me out and walk me through the door. Well, I have no desire to see through my own eyes anymore, anymore. Ha ha ha. Telling myself these jokes for so long, well, so long. I'm a has-been who is heckled on this stage. Been telling myself these jokes for so long, well, so long. I'm a has-been who is heckled on this stage.
We were riding in our car on a Sunday afternoon. All we had left was $1. We stopped into a bar just to have a little drink, and then we heard the bartender holler, "No beer today, no beer today. You can't buy beer on Sunday. No beer today, no beer today. You gotta come around on Monday. No beer today, no beer today. You can't buy beer on Sunday. No beer today, no beer today. You gotta come around on Monday." Riding in our car on a Sunday afternoon. All we had left was $1. We stopped into a bar just to have a little drink, and then we heard the bartender holler, "No beer today, no beer today. You can't buy beer on Sunday. No beer today, no beer today. You gotta come around on Monday. No beer today, no beer today. You can't buy beer on Sunday. No beer today, no beer today. You gotta come around on Monday."
Alcohol, my permanent accessory. Alcohol, a party time necessity. Alcohol, alternative to feeling like yourself. Oh, alcohol, I still bring to your health. I love you more
Radio. Internet radio versus whatever that alien shit is. Whose idea was this anyway?
It's the Word, Mike at GovsRadio.com. We're back here live at Governor's Comedy Club in beautiful Levittown, Long Island. Phone number here, 516-465-3990, 513-0515. We cracked open a few new beers, and there it is right now. We want to talk about all this ridiculousness that is in my hand. So we have Candelabrium.
Candelabrum.
Emphasis on the
Do you want to go to the
rum.
phone or no?
Yes, and it's made with rum, so hence what would you say?
Do you want to go to the phone or?
No, fuck the phone. All right, this is the Word, Mike at GovsRadio.com. Who we got on the phone?
Oh, this is John Lee with the Rebel Kettle Brewing Company.
Oh, well, fucking A. Now we
See?
got to go on the phone.
See? What did I tell you?
I didn't even pay attention to the time.
God.
It's 9:58. You're calling in early, sir.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 2 minutes early.
No, it's okay. I'm just kidding with you. I'm busting your balls.
How you guys doing tonight?
Doing well. How are you? Thanks. I want to first start off by thanking you for sending us a crap ton of delicious beer. We haven't had it all yet, but I told you that I cracked that crowler of the Mango Habanero IPA, and that was very, very good. And Pete just broke out the crowler of the
Frantically
lager.
dug it out of my cooler.
Yes, and it is ice fucking cold. So we're going to pass this around. Give us a little quick history about the brewery. You're in Arkansas, am I correct?
Yeah, we're in Little Rock, Arkansas. So we're a small brewery that, I started putting it together back in 2013 and then met my business partners in 2014, and we opened in March of 2016.
Okay, so you've been open for about 3 years now or so, maybe.
Yep,
3.5 years. Yep.
Yep.
And so, how is the scene in Arkansas? Because we're on Long Island. We were just talking earlier tonight about how the concentration and the amount of breweries here on Long Island and the population, everything's condensed here. Give us a little, kind of like introspect about how everything runs in Arkansas, because everything I would imagine is a little more spread out.
Thank you.
It is. Obviously, Arkansas is about 3 million people, but there's a lot of rural areas, and so it's. But we're talking about Little Rock, and then there's a kind of a big metro up in northwest Arkansas, and this is where the most of the breweries sit.
Okay.
In Little Rock, we have 200,000 people, and right now we have 6 breweries.
Wow, and that's a lot
Yeah,
for the small population like you have.
I guess. Most of them are our size or smaller. We have, I guess 3 of them are larger, but everybody's below like 30 barrels.
Okay,
Oh,
all right. So
that is small,
they're definitely small, like hometown brewery kind of thing. Are there different areas of Little Rock where like you have districts, or do you have counties, or what do you have that separates everyone?
I guess we could say counties, but really everybody, for the most part, is right down the heart of Little Rock, and then there's North Little Rock, which is, I want to say there's about 65,000 people there, and they have 2 breweries, so that's the other, so we have 4 in Little Rock and 2, so I look at Little Rock and North Little Rock as one, so
Right.
it's just, we're so close. But
So how's like the saturation point at this point? Everyone as individual brewers are doing well on their own, or are we finding already that some are pulling from others, or what's the state of the union up there?
It seems to be pretty, we're all pretty tight. Everybody knows everybody, we recently lost 2 breweries, but one was a brew pub, and then the other one shut down because of internal struggles. Other than that, though, we're just, everybody's kind of doing their own thing.
So, like I said to you, that mango habanero, I was kind of hesitant to crack that open. I was expecting some spice or some over the top juice, but it was very well balanced. So, give me a little rundown about that. What was it? Serpent's. What was the name of it?
Southern Snake Charmer.
Southern Snake Charmer. I knew it had to do with a snake. There you go.
Yeah, that was actually, we'll just say, based on a homebrew recipe that my business partner Josh Davis did, and we've kind of tweaked it ever since there. But this year, we definitely went more juice forward, added more mangoes to it. The habanero is in the back. It's more kind of like in the finish, kind of gets you in the throat, and that's about it.
Correct.
Again, we want to focus more on that juice aspect of it.
So you guys sent us a crap ton of other styles here. We just cracked open the lager that we're all having now. So give us a little rundown on the lager that you sent us. That's the Gold
Reserve.
Gold Reserve.
Gold Reserve. Yeah, so we wanted to take basically just make a big ass lager. Was really what it was. We had some yeast left over from our annual Oktoberfest, and so just to repitch it, we decided to do a big lager this year. And to be honest, I mean, I'm still drinking on that quite a bit. I mean, that's kind of my style.
So it's only like a few weeks old for us in the crowler, and I think it held up fairly well in the shipping and in the refrigeration and all that other good stuff. It tastes pretty good. I have in the studio with me, John, right?
Yes.
Sorry. I have in the studio with me, John, Paul from Ghost Brewing Company here in
nice.
Bayshore, Long Island, and then also Zach, who's the sales director of Great South Bay, one of the bigger breweries here on Long Island as well. So they're also tasting in this. And at any point you guys want to throw in some comments or questions, especially from a brewer standpoint, Paul, you go ahead and you do it.
It's super tasty. You know, as far as just the golden lager goes, it's hitting the spot. It's
refreshing.
Yeah.
It's nice and
I mean,
cold,
that was
too.
up.
Not leaving anything to be desired.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the goal with just a big, clean lager, and it's just an easy drinker for a bigger ABV.
So we have a bunch of others you sent us, and I told Pete, I said, dude, listen, some of these I'm drinking right now. I'm not going any further. I'm just going to start drinking them ASAP. You don't have to open them. I don't want to open all of them, but the Gnarly, which was the Saison.
Tart Saison, right?
Yeah.
Rob Gnarly is one of our year-round. We do a lot of sours. We do a lot of IPAs.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, these days.
How about
And
that?
then,
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Do you think that style's going to catch on anytime soon, John? Or, I mean, I've been hearing so much about it, and I'm
What an
really trying to get
up-and-comer.
into it, but I don't know. It doesn't seem to be the popular opinion around here.
Well, let me ask you a question, John. Is that still hold up in Arkansas? Are people still like going crazy for IPAs, or is it still something where people?
To be honest, no. Yeah, that's the thing is like we're trying to make it a thing here.
Try and get people in.
It really isn't. I mean, right here. I mean, we're still like in that that Bud Light state, really, seriously. And
okay.
So I sent you our blonde ale simply because
yes, I have.
That was the flagship that I didn't want to brew. I mean, my business partner sat me down and was like, "Hey, man, we kind of need a crossover beer," and I was like, "Really?" I was like,
Every good brewery
"Man,
does.
everybody wants IPAs." He's like, "No, they don't."
It was Working Glass Heroes, right?
Working Glass Hero, yeah, man. Been our biggest seller since day one. I mean, I can't fight it, and I mean, he still gives me shit about it. But it's like,
That's a really great name. I'm really jealous of that name. Honestly, like
son of a bitch came up with a
Glass
really,
Heroes.
yeah.
Like, fuck, that's awesome.
I mean, that's what you guys are trying to do, right? You're trying to convert people's palates. So you got to bring them in with something they're familiar with, and then while they're there in the tasting room, say, "Oh, well, if you like that, let's try this," and kind of work them into some of the deeper, darker styles that get them more hooked into the craft beer craze. Correct?
You're absolutely correct, and I mean, and it seems to be working. I mean, we're also a restaurant, so 7 days a week.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
We do lunch, dinner, and so that's the thing is people come for the food, and then stay for the beer or vice versa. I mean, so we're doing really well with that aspect. I mean, we've literally done. Let's see, we're over 200 different beers in 3.5 years. I mean, we're constant.
We're
constant.
Every single batch is a new style, a new variant, a new something.
Well, so now we have basically 5-year rounds, and then we obviously have seasonals and stuff, and then but we're always trying to work in new ideas and new beers.
So, with that said, do you have a local like downtown area where you're competing with food and beverage sales, or are you kind of separate on your own and people are making it a destination?
I mean, we are downtown, but we're kind of on the, let's just say the east side, maybe a little across the tracks, so to speak. But since we've opened in that area, we've had, a lot of growth over there. I mean, and so, where Little Rock is kind of spreading to where we are.
Okay.
And so it's helped out a lot.
That's great. So what do you have right now? What kind of equipment are you working on? What's your brew house look like right now?
Okay, we're on a 7-barrel Premier stainless system. We open with 4 7 barrel fermenters and 2 7-barrel brights. Since then, we've taken out 3 of those 7s, and we've moved them over to a separate facility where we're producing mixed firm sour beers. And then, which we just started that this January, so we're hoping to launch that line, say, early next year is kind of what timeline on that.
Okay.
But, and then, so in place of those, we've got, 7 15s now? And then the 1 7, and then one 15 bright.
So that really gets you the ability to kind of experiment with styles and really come up with a couple of different, styles every few weeks, correct?
Yeah, we've I guess we've about tripled in size since we've started. So but we're just out of space. I mean, we're a small what was it? We're
I think that's everyone's problem, right? I mean, it's like we're just plumb out of footprints.
Yeah, I mean, when we first opened, it was just going to be like a brew pub. That was going to be it, and then it kind of just blew up. And so, I mean, good problems, obviously.
Yeah, it's a good 3.5 years. You're in the right time to be starting up, especially in the scene. So what kind of if I were to come into the tasting room today, what's up on the board? Do we still have some of the beers that you sent us? Obviously, you said you have your blonde up there all the time. So what else? What else do we got up there?
I mean, the donut stop believing. I don't know if you got to that one. That one's gone.
You did send that. Yeah, it's a 10%er though. I was trying to hold off on that. It's a 10% donut stout, and I'm like, whoa, I can't. I got to give this a special day.
Please do. I mean, but the crazy thing about that beer was so that was a collaboration between a local coffee roaster and a local bakery. And maybe it was because of that. I mean, 10%, again, big, sweet stout. We put 8 dozen donuts in the mash. I mean, it was just, it was kind of a ridiculous, gimmicky thing. And we literally sold out of that beer in less than 2 weeks.
Called Donut Stop Believing.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things that, you're like, okay. I mean, we have a year-round coffee stout.
Yeah.
I mean, it sells fine, but it doesn't sell like that.
Well, what kind of donuts went into the mash?
Is it
just glazed donuts?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay, just glazed.
Gotta be just glazed.
Just
I don't know,
glazed.
Hey.
I mean, come on, don't do that donut injustice.
All
now.
of the delicious donuts.
Humble brag.
Well, we plan on
glazed
doing
donuts, 8 dozen of them.
Yeah, exactly. So what styles are you most excited, or what do you like the best that you guys are putting out in the last 3.5 years? What was some of your favorites?
Man, I'm all over the map there. I mean, my 3 favorite things are, imagine this, IPAs, probably stouts, darker stouts, porters, and mixed farm sours. So those are probably my 3 favorite.
I like a good farmhouse.
Absolutely. I mean, we have a summer seasonal saison, and then we have a spring seasonal saison as well. But again, Rob Gnarly is a tart saison. That's year round.
Now, what are you doing with those saisons? Are you just changing out the yeast, or are you changing the whole base?
Oh yeah, I mean, those are all different. I mean, as far as the bases, but the yeast stays the same.
Okay.
I mean, we literally keep a blend of 3 different strains of saison yeast.
Okay.
And we just kind of basically feed it with our blonde ale. Since we've opened, we've only kind of replaced it once. But
and it's selling, right? I mean, saisons are holding up in the middle of Little Rock, Arkansas, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. Our probably the biggest one is our.
It's not holding up here at fucking all. Let me tell you, no one here seems to like it. Like
Hazy Boys for everybody.
What's a saison?
Yeah, what is
Sizen?
Imagine that.
Sizen.
So I'll say, Zach is director of sales for Great South Bay, right? And so when he goes into a restaurant, it's a hard sell for a saison because people want, what do they want?
Hazy Boys.
Hazy Boy IPAs. That's what they want. They want New England style. They want anything that's hopped over the fucking top.
They want Galaxy, Citra,
Mosaic, El Dorado,
Nugget.
Anything from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Anything from New Zealand. Anything from even the West Coast. But it still tastes juicy, and they bring it over here. Cascade, all those. That's what they want. So it's actually kind of amazing.
Guys are in a different world.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why we have these phone calls. That's why I have the conversations, Sean. It's just amazing that your saisons are selling like that and it's hard for us to get those out there. And I love them, but I'm one of very few around here that will actually go out and search for a saison in the middle of December and January because I want that taste tonight as opposed to a nice dark triple IPA or maybe even a stout or a porter. I seek saisons at times because my palate kind of wants something different all the time.
Now, our year-round IPA, Easy Roller IPA, doesn't land probably in the New England set. I mean, it's more in between. It's definitely low bitterness, but I guess it flocks too hard. Using we use some English yeast, and so it comes out pretty clear. And but regardless, the fact is it's tough for us to get handles. I mean, it's Lagunitas IPA all day here.
Yeah.
Wait. That IPA is clear? Like that's an IPA? What? Like I could see through this though. That's really weird. No, dude, I'm with you, man. I'm with you on like clear beer. I'm not opposed to like hazy beer, but like it's got to be proper hazy, not lazy hazy.
Yeah,
no 10-day bullshit here, man. But all about saison yeast and proper IPAs.
Yeah.
So if you brewed a New England IPA with Nelson hops, dry hop with Galaxy, dry hop with Citra, no one's getting excited.
Oh no, that's not the case. I couldn't find those.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify. Okay, I thought we were in totally different worlds. I was like,
oh no, I can tell.
By the way,
okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Zach was on the phone. He's going, all right, we got to sell to Arkansas. Arkansas tomorrow.
I'm like,
I'm on a plane tomorrow.
I was Googling distributorships around there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna make a footprint in Arkansas and expand out from the Midwest. That's fantastic. But I mean, seriously though, if you have this area of the country that's really into saisons, that's so interesting because
fascinating.
It's not like
I wouldn't say they're really into it, but like.
But it's selling.
Yeah. So we have our summer saison. It's called Swimming Hole, and maybe it's the fucking name. I don't know. But
Man,
I mean, it's
John,
really
your names are all awesome.
Yeah, names are on point.
No, it's and also how you're saying it too. It's just fantastic.
Now, so when you brew that summer saison, how many barrels do you think you go through?
Let's see. We did. I mean, 3 doubles. I think this past summer. So I mean, we're not. You got to understand is like we did like a little over 1,000 barrels last year.
No,
and
I understand that part, but
yeah, we moved 70% out of our tap room.
Okay. Well, either way,
Yeah.
in terms of how many barrels you moved, whether it's through sales in the tap room or outside sales, because I was talking to these guys, we make Kissman Saison. It's a place on the island.
It's a pretty well-known saison.
Yeah,
to be honest, it's been around for a while.
We've won at GABF with that beer.
Nice.
We won at the New York Tap with that beer, and I was telling these guys, as much as we love it, I would drink it summer seasonal, spring seasonal. I unfortunately just can't.
Can't unload it.
It's going to war to try to move a 15 barrel of it,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So it's interesting to hear, clientele or just geographically, what works and what doesn't.
All right, John, hold on one sec. Stay patient for a moment. This is the Word with Mike and Pete. Who else do we have on the phone today?
John, you from Arkansas?
Yeah.
I hope Western Kentucky puts it in your pooper this week.
John, are you a big college football fan?
Actually, I am not.
There you go. Well, way to waste the joke on someone who doesn't like football, Graz.
It was still funny as fuck. I got to know that.
Play this week and everything.
Graz has 2 chocolate beers. He's talking about the people all of a sudden.
That's it. He has a little cocoa nibs and he gets them all riled up. This fucking guy.
Cocoa
Holy
nibs.
crap, I had a perfect line. John, you like basketball? I hope you guys will get a fucking 49 streak of losing.
You're screaming and it doesn't come through right. But John, I don't know if you heard that, but he's probably not a Razorback fan. I'll put it that way.
I'm guessing not.
All right, Graz, let me go because I got to finish up with John here.
All right, John, I love you.
Love me too.
I love when we have on the phone love. It's so much fun.
The beer world just brings them together.
It sure does.
Hospitality.
John, so what does the future look like for the brewery right now? You guys have we were talking about can art like right at the beginning of the show before we went on. I like the skull greaser kind of feel. Where did that come from, by the way?
That's a good question. I mean, when we were picking names, I mean, it was almost like picking names for your kid or some shit. And we landed on Rebel Kettle.
I'm sure everyone feels that way.
Yeah, I mean, it was like,
Totally.
it was more, it was more about what it meant. It was like a rebellion against average beer because of the things that I was doing or still doing or trying to do is, again, always push the envelope and always pushing myself to do new things, try new ingredients. And that's really where, and hopefully get people to try new things. But so that's kind of where the name was at. And just to kind of go along with that, that rebellious feel, we felt that, with the, skeleton with the pompadour,
Pack of cigarettes up his short cuff sleeve. I love it.
That can art, was kind of more of a generic thing just so we could kind of get some things pushed out of the tap room because we don't distribute to stores as far as cans. The only thing is we push around draft around town. But we're hoping to start at least canning Working Glass. We're working on can art for it. Rob Gnarly, the Tart Saison, and then also Easy Roller. Those will be our first three that we'll probably push out in the market in cans.
Well, Zach's here in the studio. He's a sales manager. So tell us a little about what you think should be his first step in order to get that out there.
I'm more curious. Have you looked into distributorships? I don't know. I'm already looking up in Arkansas, seeing if we can get distributorship.
We're with Glazers. Like a couple years back, there was a company here, a distributor here called Arkansas Craft. They sold out a year and a half ago, so most of the clientele there went with Glazers Beverage, and that's where we're at today. I
gotcha. Now, curiosity, because we were talking about distributor laws. What are the laws like in your state? Like, is it a lifetime? Are we talking year-to-year basis?
You hear that?
Yes and no.
I'm really now starting to look into Arkansas.
Shit seems like the Wild West right now.
Exactly, I'm into it.
Well, I think if it's a mutual thing, you can get out of them.
It's a Southern hospitality.
Right? You're just nicer people down there.
It just seems like they are.
That's great.
But, you're much better people than we are.
What's on the menu down there lately, John? What do you?
Yeah, and that was interesting too. You touched on the food really quick. So you guys have
as the resident fat guy in the room.
Hey, I'm right behind you.
Yeah.
What barbecue lover?
What do you pair well with some of the beers that you guys have there?
Most of our food, it has a Cajun feel to it. So, but I say American kind of twist to it. Like my favorite thing to eat is called our Cajun burger. So it's basically a blackened burger with shrimp on it.
Ooh! Wow!
Sounds amazing.
Never had that combination, and now I need to.
Yeah, fantastic.
I've never heard of that. So what is that like? Blackening seasoning, I guess, and then
I'm having the local
like
burger.
shrimp on
the local burger
on top of the patty.
Yeah, shrimp, pepper jack cheese.
Fuck, that is a great idea. Why is that not a thing all over?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Long Island is sleeping.
Jeez,
believe me, it's not a great idea when you work and own there. Own it there because you're just eating that shit all the time.
I'm not gonna lie. It sounds like a good problem.
This belly did not come from beer alone.
Wow, that's God. Now I gotta go.
Now, do you guys do pairing dinners with your? Because obviously you have food and beer. Do you try to pair things, or do you kind of let customers decide on their own? How do you?
We don't. We've done some beer dinners, but we don't really pair stuff.
So you kind of just let the customer decide on what they're feeling.
Yeah, that probably comes down to teach our servers, but
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
do you give suggestions at all, or not even to that aspect? Really?
I don't, but hopefully our bartenders do.
There you go. Okay, cool.
Are you guys technically a brew pub, or are you just a brewery that has a restaurant in it? I know that almost sounded.
No, that's the really weird thing.
I came in late to it. And I went, what's going on here?
I would call ourselves a brew pub in any place that I've ever been to. I like to travel, and guess what? I go to fucking breweries. You come to Arkansas, though, you can't go to a brewery that doesn't almost have a restaurant. Because
Gotcha.
People expect it to have food for some reason.
No, is that like the liquor laws there, or is it just like that's just what? Okay.
No,
yeah,
that's
not
a thing up here.
Because in New York, particularly
that's the population.
I know like the expense of it all has a large part to do with it, but they're aren't a lot of brew pubs like at all, but I know like throughout the rest of the country, whether it's like depending on like liquor laws or just what's popular.
If you can, you
like,
do.
Like there will be a lot more.
I think at GABF in the last 3 years, the medium-sized brewery, and I say brewery loosely because they're brew pubs, I think.
Yeah.
The medium size, I think, has been brew pubs the last 3 years. The best medium-sized brewery, and then they come. I'm like, oh wow, that's awesome, good for them. And then I look them up, and it's like, oh, they've also got a full menu.
Yeah,
and here we've got Black Forest and Brick House. And that's kind of it. And now Blue
used to
Point
be
is
John
the only-
Harvard's.
Blue Point's the only other one that has an actual restaurant in it. Well,
and
I know.
we've looked into it, and we haven't. We're not going to venture down the road, but
yes, correct.
So I'm curious. Again, towards sales, selfishly here. What are your plans in terms of? Are you planning on growing? You know, are you going to contract to meet that need? Are you anything? I guess any plans you have coming up in the next year or so?
Right now, we're focused on the sour production. Again, we started that in January. We got like 4 beers that we're finishing up right now. We're probably going to get into bottles here in the next week or two. And again, we'll probably release those in early January. I hope we'll be carved up, ready to go. But those will be taproom sales only. And then from there, yes, we're trying to, again, get this artwork done for those 3 kind of core brands. And possibly if those kind of start taking off well, we may look at contracting them out.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we just can't, we can't produce enough.
You can come to GSB.
But my concern, though, is actually finding somebody that can contract it at the level we need it. We've looked at a few places.
Oh, Great South
Well,
Bay.
Great South Bay and Ghost Brewing Company are both running a great contracting program.
If you want to get some East Coast visualization or whatever you call it.
I think the names, the branding, I think would translate well,
especially with Ghost.
Oddly enough, I think the from Arkansas to New York, I think the branding actually works really well.
How cool would that be if you combine some of the artworks together?
If you come up with a beer name with Billy Joel involved,
there you go.
I think that's the only missing link there, John. If you come up with a Billy Joel name, I think you're good.
No, but we
can do this.
Under pressure, I think we can do this.
There you go. But yeah, so
that was
Great South Bay does.
That was the original can art, by the way.
Oh, nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah, we had the Crowler out. Sorry, John. We had the Crowler out for a while, but I never showed him like the real can art with the skull, with the pompadour, and
I like that.
And they have it consistent. So, all right, there is a little bit of that. But what they do is, and what I like, by the way, is the
consistency.
The color changes for each thing. So, same concept with what you guys are trying to do. Associate color with your branding. So, the Saison would be like that teal.
Awesome. Cool.
The blonde is like a yellow esque, and then each beer has its own color background.
That's awesome.
That would separate it out. And of course, with
you're still very creative yet very subtle and
just basically completing the full circle of the brand.
With how many people are on the shelves right now, like continuity goes a long way, because like if you can't immediately identify the product on the shelf,
you're screwed.
You're just going to look like another person blending in. And
5 feet, 5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Where did that? That's your sales background.
Yeah,
that's 5 feet, 5
If you have time to lean, you have time to clean. Is that
that's
that same thing?
Like no matter what the beer is, like whether you're going from this thing or that thing or the other thing, and like throughout your portfolio, I feel like there does need to be a certain amount of continuity where a customer can look at your product and identify it as yours off the bat. And if they aren't, whether they buy it or not, you're losing. If there isn't the continuity with your product brand, but this label's awesome,
it's a
and they're
one-off,
buying it,
and then they'll never see it again.
And they're not going to remember your brand; they're remembering the
100%.
label.
That's what we've been doing,
and like vice versa.
Right.
And like there needs to be a certain amount of continuity, even if it's between
I love
brand,
that artwork.
like
actually,
labels of the same brand, where it's
that's
like
nice. You're very creative. You're very subtle.
Yeah.
You're not going from big and bold to very subtle. You're kind of mixing it all together, being creative.
Almost to the point where if I go to the store, John, and I get your beer, I might pick up the wrong color, and I go, oh, shit, this is really good, and then explore a brand new beer.
It's a win-win.
It is. It's a win-win, because they're still going to like recognize your brand, but then stumble upon a brand new flavor profile or a style that you're like, holy shit.
We've talked about even like from your artwork, you're trying to match your beer, the quality of your beer, even to the artwork. You're
Correct.
trying to mix it all together. So you have a creative brand that you're trying to create or have created, and the beer is now matching with that. So it's all inclusive. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, again,
Well, thank you. Southern hospitality.
I know.
No, I mean, those labels will probably never see a shelf, but you know, I mean, they do sell.
Really?
And you have no like.
What a waste.
You don't
like-
think they'll work, or you?
No. It's not that. It's like we're working on other. So that, like, I wish I could show you the concept that we have right now. So we're working with a company out of Asheville, North Carolina, and also
boy.
a local artist.
Here we go into Nashville.
No, it had nothing to do with that. It was just, but so we have a local artist that's doing artwork, and then they did the design around.
Oh,
that.
okay, I got it.
And so like for each brand, I mean, so they've done Easy Roller, which I mean, it just looks fantastic.
So
I mean,
those
it's just
so
really,
those year-round brands.
CBD beer.
Is it a CBD brand, John?
No,
CBD
no.
infused beer.
So those.
That's hilarious you say that though, because my business partner, he's actually involved in a company right now that is producing CBD.
Oh, there you go.
And you know, we're kicking that around.
If he needs help, like
we
being
actually
involved,
have,
let me know.
Yeah, let us know. We're all suffering from some sort of inflammation that we need CBD for. Absolutely true.
Have a chronic
And here in
knee
New York,
problem.
we'll be the last goddamn state in the union to fucking get that shit legalized.
That and gambling.
Yes, that's true. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can literally go over walk over
No.
the outer bridge and gamble, and then walk back over the bridge and not be able to gamble. It's so stupid.
I saw the revenue and I was like,
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What New Jersey's going to do?
I'm pretty surprised that we haven't legalized weed here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're a very forward state, but we still have a lot of Republican areas that don't want it, believe it or not. And isn't it a
Man.
Republican pushed thing?
Take the fucking tax revenue.
I don't
and
know.
just
I don't know.
Go
I
with
don't
the
know.
yeah.
Well, there's no one around here.
Just take the fucking money. Like, take the fucking money. Like, let's do it. Like,
Let's
you can either
go.
take the money or give it to somebody else. Like, you're either taking it or
Man.
choosing to give it to somebody else.
Well, let me,
Let's
John,
take it.
Arkansas, is there any sort of anything going on in the internal politics arena that's trying to do whatever other states are doing, like Colorado, California, Washington?
Are we talking about weed or beer?
Yeah, we're talking about weed.
well, you could do both, I guess.
You
can
Any
infuse.
forward thinking in any of those states in and around your area?
So, I mean, legalization for medical past, it may have very well been 3 years ago. And I think we finally had one store open or something open.
That sounds
this
like
past-
like Long Island.
Yeah, I mean, it took that long to
Exactly.
actually get anything done.
Was it a river?
But, you know, no, I don't ever see
Great
it.
success.
I mean, and I've heard that like the prices are ridiculous. You know,
Well, that's
something
part of the
like-
tax revenue, and that's the point. Like, if you make it ridiculous for people to get it, then you're going to limit it like beer was. Like, beer before that was, pre-brewing. It was kind of like you're brewing your own, or you got some guy that you're probably overpaying for at the time, 5 cents for a beer in the 1900s. But now that it's, completely legal and everything is, taxed and everything is regulated, and of course they're getting the money off of the breweries are starting up for their licensing and stuff like that. It's the same concept. So it ends up being a win-win for the state.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard like $80 an eighth and shit like that. And I'm like, this is insane. You know, I mean, you can buy that shit. You can buy that shit.
I'm the square in the room.
That's a
Is that a lot?
He broke it down to the common man. He's like, let me tell you, dime bag ain't a dime anymore.
Yeah, like even if it would like one hit put you on your ass, $80 is a lot for
That's true.
that.
That's true. That's true. You're a startup guy. That's a real deal. So, like I said, so you guys have this, established facility now for 3.5 years. You guys are brewing on a consistent basis, putting out a ton of styles. What do you think the future brings for the Rebel Kettle, besides the brand? And you said you're redoing some artwork. What do you think the future is for the company?
That's a good question. I mean, like I said, we kicked around putting together like a large production facility about 1.5 years ago, and then we after getting numbers put together, we were like, are we fucking stupid? I mean, like
you make a lot
your
of
man
sense.
there was just talking about trying to stand out on the shelf. I mean, good luck these days. And we were like, why don't we back up and kind of go small? So right now, again, focusing on the sour production coming up,
Mhm.
but then we also purchased a building in a city called Conway, which is about 20 miles north of here, north of Little Rock. And so we're going to open another brew pub there and kind of just test the waters to see. It's in a I would say Conway is like 60,000 people. They have 3 colleges.
What colleges?
60,000 people in 3 colleges?
Yeah, I mean it's it's like this
SUNY Plattsburgh colleges. That's where I went to school.
Marist.
Yeah.
But I
Plattsburgh,
mean,
really?
just
You went to
where
Plattsburgh?
it's at.
That's nice up there. Sorry, good.
But yeah, and so we're thinking we'll do really well there. And if that's the case, we may try another brew pub up in Northwest Arkansas, which is another there's a bunch of schools up there. I mean, University of Arkansas is up there.
Yeah,
the Razorbacks. Imagine that. Yeah.
Well, there you go. As part of the state, do you have like a multi-license, multi-location deal? Is that part of the licensing in Arkansas?
Right now, we can have 2. We feel like in the future, we can move forward, and probably get that changed, or we can get a few more.
That's interesting. Okay. What we've had from you in the last few days, and what we're going to have from you, repetitively now for the next few days as we post some pictures.
I'm opening that El Camino later in the week.
Yeah, I know you
for
are.
sure.
Yeah, we drank a lot of beer tonight. I'd love to open every single beer you sent us right now, tonight on air.
You missed the burger part, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fucking shrimp on a burger patty. Why is that not a thing already?
So we got to do that one. Have one of his
They
beers.
do
'cause
a
I'm doing
Cajun
it.
burger.
I'm doing it.
So
Wait,
blackening,
what?
yeah,
Exactly.
blackening
Yeah.
seasoning.
Sorry,
on
John.
a patty.
John, I went to the bathroom for this. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Blackening season on a patty.
Okay.
And then shrimp.
Paired with one of his
Why
beers.
isn't that a thing here?
Right.
Why doesn't anyone have that as a
I already
thing?
text my wife. Just
I'm
Just
going
do
to
it tonight.
all caps. Shrimp on a burger.
I'm going to Local Burger after this, and I'm telling him.
That's got to be a thing here.
Yeah.
So Cajun style shrimp on top of a burger. What's the? We got cheese. We got lettuce, tomato. What else are we putting on there? It's almost like a po'
Fuck the
boy.
rabbit food.
Yeah.
I'll kill it, no filler. Like you're putting
lettuce,
shrimp and
tomato,
cheese
meat.
on a burger. Like, why do we need
Yeah,
vegetables?
all right, good point.
Like,
Good point.
man.
You got
Unless they're like roasted
protein
like
burger all
peppers
day.
or onions. Like what are we talking about vegetables for?
What about a sauce? What do you got? A sauce? You got a Cajun sauce?
Nah, there's no sauce on it.
Nah, fuck it.
Oh, see, yeah,
This is my guy.
that's my
No,
man right
like
there.
The burger is juicy enough.
Yeah, I
He
like
said,
that.
"Fuck that sauce." We got burgers that are juicy enough, and the
I
Cajun
thought I was done
that's good
cooking
enough.
burgers for the year, but apparently I'm
burgers
not.
are favorite.
No, you're not. And I'm not kidding when I say I'm going to Local Burger after
Yes,
this. I'm telling you, I'm
I am starving.
I'm game.
Now, also, back to the contract part. Is it are contract breweries, I guess, or the availability, is that popular in your area?
No, it really isn't. So like I was saying, there's a place in Memphis that used to be an old Coors plant, but you got to do like 500 barrels at a time.
Yeah,
that is not in my
That's a
wheelhouse.
lot. That's a
whatsoever.
lot to do for
Yeah.
your
That is a
size.
book. Yeah, I mean we're
Try
not,
to sell 500 barrels of sours. I think that.
Yeah.
Or saison.
Saisons. In the Northeast, Saisons. Yeah, don't do that.
Regardless of
And then
style,
we
try
talked
selling
to-
500
we
barrels
talked-
of anything.
That's tough.
Right.
That's
I don't know.
really
Is Treehouse making it?
that's
Is
a
it a
1,000
Treehouse
kegs.
IPA?
Not even
1,000
Treehouse.
kegs.
No, I mean, like,
No, that means you're just sitting on old beer, is what that means,
exactly.
you know?
Like so at Great South Bay, we have 30s and 60s, and we've looked into 120s, but even like you're saying that you're venturing into, you brew one and it doesn't go right, you're stuck with a lot of beer. That's 240 half barrels equivalency.
How much money goes into the ingredients for something like that?
Oh, I don't even want to know.
That's
as the guy that's doing pricing, it's not going to be pretty. It's, I mean, so like,
Are you talking about a light beer? Or
yeah, we
maybe
talk like a
an
blonde
IPA?
ale. So like
Like,
they brew a
because
blonde
We brewed
ale.
120 barrels of Blonde Ambition.
So we make a blonde ale as well, called Blonde Ambition. Our biggest seller as well. So it's funny you say that. I would say you're looking at 20 grand possibly.
Wow, just a huge
and
investment.
if you had to
Just-
fucking flush that,
Yep.
yeah,
120.
just
So you're
and
talking
you know what's
about
funny
like
is
eight-
I would
just
say
flushing it would
roughly
be an
20, rough
endeavor.
math.
Just getting rid of it if it turned out wrong would be an endeavor in itself. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
So imagine,
how do we get rid of like? You can't blow up the fucking sewer system. Like hashtag Blue Point again.
make sure we're just float off.
imagine 500 barrels at like was that
That don't even,
80
that
grand,
math I don't
80
want to
grand.
do.
Yeah.
That's scary.
You have to have your own sump to let it just
That's,
settle.
Again, even like when we do 60 barrels of our blonde, we're very confident because we're moving it through different distribution channels. But 120, you're looking at obviously double the volume in those channels.
Yep.
But the real
But
thing
you have
is
to sell it in the same amount of time.
Yeah, because we shelf our days. We actually just reduced our days because we want to try to have high quality, fresh as possible.
The best you can.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That's
Yeah.
what it
So,
is.
but when you double from even 60, I mean, I get nervous when our head brewer puts in 60 and then the next batch over is a 30, and I'm like, what is he doing? That just puts more pressure on me.
Because I got to piggyback the last sales to
Yeah,
another sale.
It's like I know last October was great, but that doesn't mean this October is going to be great or this November is going to be great. Like I gotta,
It's a scary market right now, like between the amount of options that people have, and even like for me, like what I find like the scariest thing to the market is I guide myself like by intuition, like what do I want to drink, what do I want to produce, this and that, the other thing, and a lot of people ordering beers now are like looking up, oh hey, what's the most highly rated beer that's on the board right now, and it's like
let me go to beer menus or
yeah, exactly.
Untappd.
Where like back in the day, it'd be kind of one of those things where it's like, you know what, I'm in the mood for something like this. Oh, you know what, like this beer over here has like these ingredients that are really like calling me right now. I'm gonna order this beer. Whereas like a lot of people now are like, they're literally like their choices are being guided through like these apps, and
yes, it is. Is it scary?
It's amazing just realizing like you know what's in your beer. Like 10 years ago, just knowing like what hop varieties are in this.
Once you knew that, it was like
double.
I know the whole beer. I know how to brew the beer now.
Yeah,
it's got nugget in it.
We don't base it on our
Even
own.
nowadays, too,
Yeah,
like,
we don't
like,
base
you
it on
spend
our
a lot
own
of money.
opinion.
Yeah.
Whoop, there it is.
Sorry.
You
But
play
like,
quarters
even
over
nowadays,
there.
like you'll spend a lot of money on like this like hot shit hop that everybody's talking about, and then you'll be dropping it in your tasting room, and people will be like, "Oh hey, like what's this like hop or whatever?" And it's like, dude, I like spent all this money on this like fancy hop because like I thought this is what you wanted, and even
It
like
doesn't
a lot of,
sell
the
like
market,
that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
even a lot of the market, sometimes you still have to like continuously guide through.
Yeah, which one? That was the cherry one, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
yeah. Let's
Now, out of curiosity, also, what I guess large breweries or even medium-sized breweries in your area do you fight with? Is it like, are you against New Belgium of the world? Are you against, what's in the marketplace in your area that we probably won't be able to get?
And the thing is, like, we probably fight more with our, local, because we're on. So, I mean, again, our main focus is a brew pal. I mean, that we sell most of our beer right there.
Yeah.
And so we're just trying to bring people in.
Okay.
As far as out in the market, you're going to see the blonde ale mostly, which that competes with. There's a couple other breweries in town that do similar things. Really, only two, but. So we'll come. That's big, I guess, competition for us on the blonde, and then our IPA is out there, and Lagunitas is the fucking comp there.
Okay, wow.
It
So you don't.
seriously is.
There's really not that big of a presence in terms of even like you have. I'm assuming you have
like regional, statewide.
Yeah. Do you have Founders of the world? Do you have? You have all.
So
of
Founders
course.
is here, Dogfish is here, but
You have
who
obviously
is it?
Sam. You
Top
have.
and Goliath. Top and Goliath, that's a big one. I
Oh yeah,
think.
of course.
I mean,
they just entered our market.
Which one?
Top and Goliath.
Well, no, they just entered ours is the thing, and they were big
Wait,
for a
what?
while, and then we had
They're like
old shit that was sitting on the
Top?
shelf. I mean,
Toppling Goliath. Yeah.
Oh, Toppling Goliath. I'm sorry.
Sorry, if I pronounced it correctly.
Yes, no, I got it.
Yeah. They're.
I'm just trying to pick big, like IPA guys.
Yeah.
No, of course. No, I mean realistically.
Is there another type of beer?
Yeah, like do you have? Are there
I
other?
thought we only drink IPA.
Are there other?
Wait a second.
I guess craft breweries that are in your area. So like for us, for example, on the island, again, sales guy here. There's I think how many licenses? 60.
Yeah, it's close.
About
It's up
that.
there. Yeah.
There's like
something like yeah.
there's like 60 licenses and basically 30 by
70
radius.
Yeah.
Box.
If you want to say like mid Long Island,
Yeah.
the biggest part, green part,
Thank you for
but then
laughing.
you also cover.
Yeah.
Let's say you
Montauk
cover.
Port Jeff to Manhattan is 72 miles.
Yeah, so
Oh, wow,
that
there you
exactly.
go. So you're, yeah.
Wait, Port Jeff to Montauk?
No, Port Jeff to Manhattan.
Right,
So we're talking
exactly.
miles. Yeah.
So let's just
Montauk's
say
a good ways.
Riverhead
Yeah.
to Manhattan.
But
All right.
either way, we're talking in not a very large area if you really think about it. 60 plus breweries that whether they distribute
And more on the way.
Exactly, and we have another one. Ghost will be opening relatively soon. That we fight for not just shelf space, but we fight for, like you're basically discussing
Fan base.
Yeah. Relativity, just being relative, being popular, being I want to say the hip spot. It's like we've discussed the buzzwords, and again, for us, it is New England IPAs. Maybe not for you, but it's very interesting to hear that because, again,
No, we're trying. We're trying to.
It's odd to hear a beer market that's not built around hazy IPAs.
Like, so let's go up and down the
It's
East Coast.
refreshing to hear a beer market not built around
because
that.
again, like
we're jealous.
We are because again, we off the air we spoke about. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, like, if there's probably one thing we're known that kind of sets us apart from the other breweries, it's probably fruited kettle sours.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Because-
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and that's
we were like,
fantastic.
Those are
That's
gaining in
awesome to hear,
popularity,
though,
I
too.
think,
Yeah.
though, too.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess it's so odd for us to hear that New England IPA isn't. I feel bad.
Like,
I feel bad bringing it
what-
up 40 times, but it's
no,
like,
but
What do you mean that's not popular?
it's crazy. It is legitimately.
To be fair, I feel like the sour is like one of those like few categories like where we are now is like where we could capture some of these like a lot of these like more quote unquote like new money palates where it's like they're looking for something different. I'm not to say that they're like low calorie or light or like this, that, the other thing, because they aren't, but like where they're looking for something new where we could kind of like express like, hey, we're gonna do this sour with this thing, that thing, and the other thing, and like this is beer, but it doesn't taste like beer like to those other people when they're drinking it. All of a sudden, if we could like give them something that's actually properly presentable, not just like, oh wow, this is like
All in your
throwing
face.
a pack of
Right.
like Sour
Yeah.
Patch Kids in your mouth
Yeah.
all at once. Like,
Oh, yeah.
no, but like something like actually proper, like that's the thing, and it's about like guiding that palate like into that like next generation or evolution or like.
Well, that's exactly it.
whatever you
Like I
wanna
was saying,
call it.
you're
It's
going to rope them in with the blonde and the lagers, the standard styles that people are used to.
the same thing
and
we
then you're
do.
going to hit them right. Exactly.
Same
Same
thing we
thing
do.
everyone's
Yeah.
doing.
Same thing we do.
What's interesting is that here on Long Island, John, we have all these breweries, but yet there's some that operate within their small community. There's some that operate a little more like regionally, like Suffolk and Nassau County. And then there's some that operate more statewide and even like East Coast wide. So it almost is like, depending on the size of the brewery, it depends on the audience. So like we said, Great South Bay kind of reaches out beyond a little bit of New York State. Like you said, you're kind of reaching into New Jersey and the Connecticut area. And obviously that works upstate as well.
Yep.
And then there's other breweries that are also in the region that you're competing with, like
course.
Two Roads, like
Roads, yeah.
what was the one we were talking about? Carton, which is distributing on Long Island now.
But in New Jersey,
In New Jer- right? And you're kind of competing with these big regional things that have this big radius. It's almost like watching a Doppler radar on News 7, right? It's like Doppler 3000. It's just whoa, whoa.
Like oddly enough, one of the biggest competitors for us in New Jersey is Cape May Brewing.
Oh yeah, Cape May's big.
Very,
yeah.
Obviously, like the very southern tip of New Jersey.
Should I
but-
delete the Instagram live post that we have of Cape May?
No. But no, it's very odd because obviously when you enter those new markets,
and no one's really heard of Cape May locally.
Exactly.
No
Like
one here has heard.
If I went to
Didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
blah 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 beverage center and said, hey, have you heard of Cape May? They're like,
Nope. But if you cross over the outer bridge, the first beer distributor over the outer bridge crossing
have
in New Jersey, they have a shit ton of it.
yeah.
They have it on tap. They're
Yeah.
crowlering it. They're growling
Yeah.
it. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's what's so weird. It's like even the borders are really hard borders.
Yeah.
For things like that. Like I love Icarus. Icarus is one of my favorite breweries. Like recent breweries.
Yep.
I've been there to the brewery twice. I've seen them at a couple of the events, and they produce like ridiculously good beer. But you can't get it here.
Yeah.
And how come they haven't crossed over? Literally, you can go over the outer bridge, go to the first distributor, and they'll have it in.
At the same point, it's and not to beat a dead horse, but Montauk.
Right.
Yeah.
They've swarmed our market.
Yep.
And I'm sure in Arkansas there's probably a brewery like that, but it's just odd how some breweries, and at the same time, it goes to show when you enter a new market, you better have a plan because
And it also shows the
If you don't,
saturation
you're gonna have
point.
your ass handed
yeah,
to you.
you're gonna get a rude awakening.
And the
because-
saturation point of our East Coast, so we're so condensed here in the Northeast, as opposed to like let's say Arkansas, where
Yeah.
John is, that he's only competing with even the bigger boys that we are also competing
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
but we're not also then at the same time fighting the cartons, the two
Yeah.
roads, the other things.
That's what's
that-
fascinating to hear is
It
just-
goes from founders to
Yeah.
like they're guys that are 5 miles away.
Yeah,
and like there's
it's-
nothing in
that's
between.
Fascinating to me. It's not like down here or even upstate New York or Mass, Connecticut, Maine. It's
Rhode Island.
Yeah, like
Jersey's
up
gotta
here
be.
to Arkansas.
So the funny thing that we've seen, though, is like, so we've had a lot of regional breweries, say like from Louisiana or Missouri, that try to come in. And
what's the
they
one
just
in
can't make it.
Louisiana?
Abita.
No, not Abita.
Speakeasy?
Well,
I think Abita's still here.
What's the one that does
I'm trying to
brown
think of
note?
one-
You ever seen that beer?
Oh no, Against the Grain.
Against the Grain.
So they're
I love
in
that name. Yes.
they're in Kentucky. I've actually been to
they're
the
in
brewery.
Okay, yeah, Louisville,
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Correct. They're actually. What's funny is I've been to the tap room. I was on a trip for school, and we go to Louisville, Kentucky. I was in there in 2015 and 2017.
Okay.
So like our Duck Stadium here on
Yeah.
Long Island. So
Proud
picture
sponsor.
the Duck Stadium, but then there's a brewery in the basement.
Interesting.
That's Against the Grain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
And
they
right-
tried. I guess I shouldn't say infiltrating, but they tried entering our market. And as a brewery that I know, they're extremely popular. No.
Yes. Yeah. They're all over the place.
But for whatever reason, in New York, they just haven't seemed to stick.
Really? Because I've done Brown Note. That's the one with the guy who's the pants like he
But
shit
again,
himself.
With
But
as
I
many
wouldn't have
local
guessed that.
breweries, how can they even compete? That's the
Well,
thing.
that's the thing. It's I think a lot of breweries, and that's why I was kind of discussing, at least for even Great South Bay, is when we entered New Jersey. I mean, I take pride in knowing that if we Cape May Brewing, like I need to know that as a sales guy, especially if I'm in charge of sales. I hope I know what breweries we compete against. I think a lot of these breweries that once they reach, like, say Great South Bay was to go to the Midwest or South
Arkansas,
Southeast, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
you're entering a whole new realm that I don't think people have fathomed. Especially like we talked about, not to brag, but we kind of think that Long Island, due to our density of breweries and New York City's
We're
density,
the shit. We do.
Well,
we do think we're the shit because we have so many breweries and so much good flavor that the ones that kind of have risen to the top, like Great South
Exactly.
Bay, like Long Island, like Blue Point,
Yeah.
we should basically kill anybody else that comes into our
but
way.
yet you step out of state, like you're saying, and it's a whole new. Like it's nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Though, but it's fascinating to hear, especially like I said with Arkansas. It's just so weird.
It
but
is.
also fascinating.
Well, this is why we do take calls from all over the world.
That's awesome.
Really, honestly, the world. And we've had people from Canada telling us about the beer
Yeah,
scene
yeah.
up there, all the way down to out west. And it's interesting to hear what's going on out there. It gives us a
Yeah.
really good perspective on the United States scene as
Yeah, of course.
opposed to just our local scene, because we're so wrapped up in what's going on here locally
Yeah.
and regionally that we forget to mention that there's so much
Yeah.
other stuff going on and what they're fighting with and what they're doing. And John, what you guys are dealing with is a totally different vibe than what we're dealing with here, in regards to saturation points and styles that people are flocking to. You're actually pushing, IPAs as opposed to us trying to go as like old school
There are
brewers.
other types of beers.
There is something else other than an IPA.
He's expanding palates, while here we almost have to
reduce them back to the
status
original.
quo.
Right.
If you're not, like I said, if you're not making that New England IPA,
or 6.
or a
They're
Galaxy,
very-
a Citra, and Mosaic.
The only brewery I think, I was talking to Scott from Long Island. He was saying they on principle don't do any New England style IPAs, and I can't think of another brewery that doesn't. It's
Because most aren't established like
True,
that.
yeah.
He will be, but
no,
that's the thing. Like
the New England, the Full Circle one was a New England IPA with New England Brewing Company.
Yeah, New England Brewing
and so he
Company.
definitely
True.
does them. I mean, if you look
one-off.
if you look at Baylor, that's riding the cusp
love
of it.
Baylor.
I love Baylor, but there's other ones that he's done that definitely have kind of jumped out at me, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of like a New England, but not really. He doesn't call it, but they add something else to kind of throw it off. but they're still trying to capture the market like everyone else is, because everyone else here on Long Island, John, is IPA fucking crazy. They're crazy.
One of the things with opening up Ghost too is just like I'm not a fan of hazy IPAs at all. Like New England IPAs, like every now and then, like I'll find a beer that like one that fits in that style that I enjoy, but in general, that's not my jam.
For all the shit talking I've been doing, I love a good hazy IPA.
Me too.
But at the
I'm
same time,
not gonna.
I am that hazy boy on a lot of days.
Me too.
I need to provide one. At
You
the very
absolutely
least,
do.
like one and like
If you want to keep the doors open, you absolutely have to have
you
5
need bread
hazy
and butter
boys.
to eat dessert. I'll be the first person to say that. But like I spend a lot of time like kind of cultivating like my recipe, and when my first ever like hazy IPA comes out, I'm gonna be able to hold my chin up high on that one.
I'm sure you will.
Life in
and
Fate
that's the
4.
thing.
What was that? Life in Fate 4.
but that's the whole thing though, is that like at the end of the day, sometimes like even as like a brewer, like sometimes as an artist, like you need to like show people what they actually want as opposed to what they think they want. Sometimes you have to give them what they want, but you need to do it and still keep your chin up high. On like the East Coast Ghost, I'm very confident that like I can't wait to watch those like first ones get poured and the reaction. And like I said, like while it's not a style that I'm in love with, it's a style that I'm confident that when that first beer drops, everyone's gonna have a Kool-Aid smile on their face. And that's the main goal.
Now, do you plan? And I know you said that they might not be popular in your area, but do you think it's a growing field? Do you think it's something you're trying and you're hoping it grasps, or do you think it could possibly just be it's not gonna land?
That's a good question, because I think that's something like they don't know what to expect
Exactly.
from. Right. You don't know what
I'm trying to think of the beers that are out there on the national level that are trying to kind of get there. So like, we have
Little Hazy from Sierra Nevada.
Yeah, Sierra Nevada. Who else is in that?
Yeah, that one
I guess
came out last year,
TD.
right? So
Voodoo Ranger maybe
Yes.
is Voodoo Ranger a hazy?
Even just like geographically, like
but it's like an imperial, but it's still like in
Okay.
that IPA range.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul, what were you saying?
But yeah,
No, I'm saying, like,
Toppling
even just
Goliath is
geographically,
definitely
like, I
in
wanna
that.
know what the different,
Right,
like,
correct.
Yeah, he was saying Toppling Goliath, like Fighto Sioux
And
or
then
whatever it's called.
I think Oscar Blues has some things that are.
Oh
are
wow,
similar,
I didn't even fathom that. Too,
No,
in their
that's
area. See, like up here,
but
Oscar Blues like isn't really a. I haven't seen Oscar Blues
It's
in a long
just
time.
the
And
straight.
that's a great beer though.
Oh, absolutely.
I will take a Nitro Chub
No, I'm
Ale.
just thinking like in the
any
hazy realm.
fucking
They were
day.
actually at the Great Beer Expo, Oscar
were they
Blues.
really?
Yeah, right. So
Oh,
exactly.
man.
There's so many things that like Shipyard was there. There was another
yeah, they
one.
were like right next to us. Yeah,
Right. There was another one that was there. I was like, oh, I totally didn't even walk by it. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't remember it was there. But as I'm leaving and breaking down, I see the Oscar Blues fucking huge can
Oh, man.
blow up, and I'm going, oh, fuck, I didn't even bother to see what they had going.
Yeah,
But they
yeah.
had, of course, their standard, Oscar Blues
Yeah.
pale ale or whatever they had going.
Gotcha. But yeah, so again, sorry to interrupt. Do you think?
No. I mean, again, I'm trying to think of what people are drinking when they're not drinking local stuff, because we literally, so like our neighbor is they're called Lost 40. They're the largest production brewery in Arkansas now.
Oh wow!
And they produce one.
Oh, which one is
IPA
this?
that
Oscar Blues? No,
No,
which
no,
one?
no.
He said Lost
It's
40,
called
I
Lost,
believe.
Lost 40.
Lost 40.
Yeah, and so they're.
That's kind of cool.
Say that.
They're.
You want to change Ghost right now? Just rebrand everything.
Nope.
Lost 41.
You say that they're-
Got you.
They're. I don't know. They're pretty generic, to be honest. But
Ah.
they make one. They make one IPA that is kind of in the hazy range, and that is it. And so anybody else in the state, I don't know, is really doing anything. We've done several New Englands, I suppose. They do well. We typically have 3, maybe 4 IPAs on the board. We usually have same with when we talk about fruited sours. Try to keep some, imperial stouts too. But it's just
That's
this
Lost 40
is
artwork.
where we're at, where everybody else is kind of just, I don't know. It's a different. I guess it's a different ball game here.
Well, I mean,
everybody's not.
As much as it is, I don't think it isn't, because if you look at some of, I'm looking at Lost 40's Instagram really quick, and you're looking at things like their can art and their styles that they're putting out there. It's not much different than what people are trying to market the beer as around here as well. They're trying to catch your eye on the shelf.
That artwork is like straight up.
Yeah,
almost Brooklyn.
Right, like street art.
They have some good marketing for sure.
Right.
But the beers are, I mean, I don't want to talk trash about
No, of course not.
I mean, some of them, they come across as maybe a little watered down, but it's just, but they're that size though.
Yeah. Right,
that's
exactly.
The thing is they're trying to push the whole state. Whereas, we're trying to just push the city pretty much. So,
do you think that I guess beer trends from say the West Coast, whether it's Northwest California area, even Northeast our area, do you think those trends trickle down into your area, or is it kind of you think it's just people are just on their own pace? They'll drink what they drink. They're not gonna I guess form to whatever might be popular in the big cities,
right?
Because we are the big cities.
Yeah, no, it's a tough call because, Northwest Arkansas is a totally different ballgame. It's a totally different scene.
And that's
IPAs
where the
are
college
huge
is, you
up there.
said?
Yeah, University of Arkansas is up there.
Okay.
And they, again, we've done some festivals up there, and IPAs are huge up
One
there.
of my good buddies went to college there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's just a totally different scene. I mean, it's very strange.
That's crazy.
Again, I think we're fighting more probably big beer down here.
Yeah, it's just so crazy how it's such a different atmosphere, right? It's it's like a different.
How far away is the Northwest from you?
We're about 3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
a little bit.
that's different. Definitely different.
So
hold on, John. So, one second. This is where Mike at PeteGovsRadio.com. Who do we got on the phone?
John,
Oh, you back on, Graz? Jesus.
former President Clinton and Hillary called. They said your IPA sucks balls.
I thought I was going to be the first to make a Clinton
I know.
reference.
I was waiting for it. Something
I was
like
biting
that.
my tongue.
Well done.
That's
Thank
funny
you.
you
Have a
say
good
that
night.
because it's actually on tap at their restaurant. So.
It's called the Clinton suck balls.
Clinton sucks balls.
That's fucking fantastic.
No, we totally do.
Oh, that's great. Graz,
Would you be interested in brewing? Not Graz, sorry. Would you be interested in coming to the Northeast to brew beer with us?
Graz is already in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
There we go.
Listen,
I'm all into it.
That's it. If you're ever in the New York area, look everybody up. You got Paul from Ghost. You got Great South Bay. They're in the same roof, so you can go ahead and check them out. And you can do like a double batch collaboration.
You can come on the podcast.
So like,
In person.
Fucking
There we go.
exactly.
It sounds
In
like
person.
it's fucking
One
fun
more-
there.
There
one
you
more
go.
question,
I'll pick you up from the airport.
Yeah. Graz will pick you up from the airport.
I didn't know you were still on.
Graz has a yeah.
We'll pick you up from the airport. Don't worry. You don't need to be scared.
We can send you an Uber.
Yeah. No.
Uber X. We'll be polite.
Graz is gonna lose his shit. Listen, Graz has the bang bus. He can get you.
Whoa,
bucket
whoa,
deals.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa.
exactly.
He does.
Yes, he has a bang
But
bus.
like, so in general, like out there, like, would you say your market is more beer driven or more like hype driven? Like are there like hype words and hype styles that like people
a good
gravitate
question. Yeah,
towards,
that's a
great
or
question.
are they just really gravitating more towards like the real product out there?
Not to bust
I
Lost
would
40
say more
there
real
because
product. I don't think we don't have hype breweries.
We do.
Oh, that's
Oh, we sure do.
we have
I know.
a couple.
so refreshing to hear.
I was at I guess
I would love to make Little Rock a fucking scene, but we just when you got 6 breweries in this fucking area, no, I don't.
We
think
do have
No,
hype
no,
breweries
like-
here,
like-
but
and-
they make some good
I say
fucking
this, I mean-
beer.
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
We produce it.
For one of them.
For 26 of them.
20. Wow. Is that how many contracts you have? Jesus Christ.
37.
Yeah. Shoot for the moon, Zach. Shoot
So
for the
you
moon.
won. I upped you 11. But
John, let me wrap up with you. Give us the big plug. Tell us a little bit about the contact information where people can find you if they're traveling to Little Rock and they want to stop by the tasting room or they want to follow you on Instagram. Give us all that information.
Rebel Kettle Brewing Company. We're at 822 East 6th Street. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything there, you know.
Dude,
RebelsKettle.com.
the fact that these fucking labels aren't on store shelves to me is ridiculous.
Right?
That's
I'm actually
quality fucking branding.
I'm going to follow you on Instagram just to see what they look like after.
So Zach on the side could sell your brand here to the New York audience, no problem.
I'm fucking scared of store shelves, I'm telling you.
Hey, I think we all are scared of store shelves. You're not the only one, trust me. You're not the only one.
You're not alone in the fight.
Yeah.
All right,
John, thanks for calling in, man. This was a great conversation.
Hey, I appreciate you having me.
And thanks again
You
for
guys have a
sending us.
great night.
Yes,
send
thank
us
you
from
for all the
beer.
beer.
Yeah,
Cheers.
it was,
Get home safe, all right?
Everything we had so far is good, and we'll continue to drink and post and let you know how awesome it is.
And if you ever come out to New York, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please do.
Definitely come out to New
Fuck
York.
yeah, man.
And we'll get this
Try and
done.
make that
That'd be
happen.
awesome.
All right, buddy.
Y'all take care. Thanks
You too,
again.
man.
Thank you.
All right, it's John from Rebel Kettle out in Arkansas, Little
Might
Rock,
have been
Arkansas.
our best fucking phone interview.
Fucking great guy.
That was awesome.
Listen, I knew
I was so interested.
Yes.
I was like, I could have been a total sales geek.
Yeah.
I could have asked like 40 questions. I would have had a whole notepad full.
There's
like,
so much stuff that's so different, and we can
amazing,
go to
too.
Minnesota, we can go to
You
North
name it.
Dakota. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. We're gonna find little interesting stories and these little startups that are trying to get their area, their community, their region to kind of buy into whatever they're trying to buy into.
Because to us, like we've beaten the dead horse. A
Right.
New England IPA, if you don't have it,
right,
or you at least don't one off or whatever it may be, you're playing with wildfire almost nowadays.
It'd be making a statement to not offer one.
Oh,
which is
100%.
odd.
It's
By
almost like
making a statement. You mean shooting yourself in the foot?
Yes.
By making
On
a
this
statement,
island?
I mean
Yeah.
not being in business for a year.
Nope.
For lasting only 6
generous.
months.
It is. I mean, it is amazing to just hear.
It's crazy.
One, the hospitality was amazing.
Oh,
Such a gentleman.
He is.
You know, it's
Absolutely.
crazy.
Here we are out of state. Speaking of a southern gentleman from out of state.
So I was
And seriously though,
hospitality.
shrimp on a fucking burger. I don't like.
You had me at shrimp on a burger.
You
I've
guys
done
think
pulled
I'm joking?
pork on a burger.
I've already
and
texted.
that seems like
I've already texted the owner of Local Burger and said, "Hey,
Twice.
Coming over
Here's
for
what we're
the-
I'm
doing.
pairing Jetty. You have Jetty on draft. We're pairing it with that."
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's
The minute that he contacted us, it was like, hey, so pretty cool podcast. Listened to it. He listened to it before,
Nice.
and I said, oh, that's very cool. I said, I'd love to, just call in. He goes, well, how about I just send you a shit ton of beer, and then I'll call in. I go, okay, and that was it. And it was like, just send me your address. There was no like back and forth. Like, let me make sure you're real, legit,
Sounds
whatever
really
it is.
complicated.
No, it was, and within a week later, I had a beer at my door. That's the real deal. That's someone that's really trying to get their name and their brand out there.
You know,
I'm still surprised he's not like the branding, like the can art.
I honestly wanted to be like,
Seems
listen,
like-
keep those labels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I wasn't
I
going to be the
don't
guy
know.
to say that, but
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Well, now you are because he's going to listen back to the show. But
I
still.
love those labels, man.
Yeah.
Can we steal
Yeah,
them
dude,
from you?
Keep them going.
So there's a
They were great.
Yeah.
They
there's
were.
a brand out there. I don't know who. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's like Travis Barker or something like his collaboration with one of the rappers or something, and they did.
Similar artwork?
A similar artwork.
Maybe
and
that's what
that
it is
became
then.
so popular. People were doing it for Halloween a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And really doing that look. But if he's been around for 3.5 years, he's
already ahead of it.
Already ahead of
Yeah.
it. And whatever that is, it's such an eye catcher on the shelf.
Well,
when that came to my house, I went, holy shit, this fucking looks dope.
I will say, even like the Great South Bay name is trademarked.
Right.
Like, we do it obviously on purpose. Like, we want to keep our name.
Correct.
Ideally, maybe that was. I don't know, obviously. That's
when it started because
Yeah.
it kind of came from you're dealing with what they already started.
Yeah, I don't know what they've done with their artwork. I mean,
Right.
I don't think you can. Do you know? Can you trademark your artwork? Probably
If
not.
it's original drawings, maybe?
Some things, yeah, some things no. It's
like if someone copied our new artwork, I don't
that's a
think we
whole,
could
like-
really do anything.
I think
That's
you could try to
it's a
send a
whole
cease and
loophole
desist from a lawyer, but
Yeah,
in
that'd be
the
a
end,
good question for a lawyer. But
It's
Well,
all
here-
about having
here's what I know about
I mean,
creative.
Dubco's kind of tempting fate with the Dub Light thing.
Right.
So.
And they
they've
continue.
They already got the cease and desist with the
Whoops.
the
Diss Dubs for
we
you.
We had Chris.
No.
Oh.
What's the one with the rapper?
Oh yes,
Dilly
with the one where they put the smiley face over it.
Yes.
Fuck, he told us it last time we were here, and it's still in the shelves too. It's still out there. Which one is it?
Old Face Killer.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yes.
Ghostface Killer from Wu-Tang. Yes.
It was a Wu-Tang. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
We had Chris on, and he
Oat-
said he was
Oat-faced.
hoping that
Oat-faced.
fucking
Yes.
that AB would sue him. He's like, I'd fucking
it's a
I'd love it.
marketing
It's
ploy.
exactly.
Any
that seems like a great
If he
business
did-
opportunity.
I'm not going to be the one to speak for him, but in my eyes, I hope that happens.
Yes. All of the things.
And I can post saying, "Hey, AB doesn't want us to do this."
Right.
You know?
Well, I'll say this. Anytime you come up with a concept, the minute you come up with it, it's technically copyrighted. It's a matter of being able to hold that up in a court of law.
I gotcha.
So if you come up with any sort of artistic experience, whatever it might be, whether it be lyrics, whether it be
I
music,
was
whether
gonna
it
say,
be
'cause
artwork,
this is a big music kind of thing almost.
in a sense,
Yeah.
that if you do that, then the minute you do it, it's copyrighted.
Okay.
The only way to
We have
officially
to document that.
Well, you do, and there's a Library of Congress, which you have to send proper documentation for it. But in a court of law, the way you get it expunged and really quickly in your favor is if you have it through the copyright law. Otherwise, you have to go to court and spend the fees and everything to do it, but you could still prove it as long as you have documentation that it was done prior to them releasing it or doing it.
And this
So if
is
you
why
have-
we have the Davises.
Right, exactly. So you don't have to worry about it. Once they get through the proper copyright laws
Yeah.
and everything's what's the logistically, I forget the word, the trade TM, it stands for what?
Trademark.
No, but it's not that. It's what's RM, what's RT. I don't know, whatever it is. It's the minute you come up with a
Russia Today.
creative license. It's creative licensing. The minute you come up with a thought or a process, then it becomes copyright, regardless if you have it in the Library of Congress. It's a matter of proving that.
Yeah, because
If you have it in the Library of Congress, then it's proven.
when we come up with new beers, we do a lot of research.
I would assume so.
Because-
There's several times where
If we come
brewers
out with
had
a-
the same
like,
name
you know,
for a
if,
beer or
like when
something,
we
right?
came out with Therapy's a new beer of ours about 2 months-ish, maybe
Right.
3.
You got to prove that that's an original thought.
Like we're not going to risk, coming out with a whole new line of beer that possibly one day is just ripped off the shelves. That's the worst
Why
thing
would
that
you
could
do
happen
that?
to
Yeah,
us,
that'd be crazy.
Especially if it catches on, like we knock on wood and anticipate. It is. I mean, I am really curious to see what his labels turned out to be, and I wonder if there is. I doubt that there's any.
No, if that's original artwork from an artist,
Yeah.
then it doesn't matter.
'Cause-
It could
so,
be in the likeness of, but it's not exact art.
We outsourced our new labels. They were outsourced. It is 100% under our eyes that
Yeah.
he created it for us.
And it's a complete rebranding, by the way. I mean,
Oh,
we,
100%.
We got
A total 180.
We got rid of a lot of the cartooning,
Exactly.
and went to just a standardized label across the board.
Different
and we're using
coloring.
colors
Yeah.
to define
renamed a
which
couple
styles.
of the beers too. It seems like
Yeah, so we tried
Well,
to.
you've kind of underscored the name
Exactly.
because you still have Blonde Ambition, but it's just a blonde ale.
It's almost like a 50-50. We didn't want to disregard the name of the beer. So Jetty.
those people that have been drinking Blonde Ambition or Jetty
Exactly.
for 10 years.
We don't want them to lose that aspect.
Correct.
And mind you, as I said, that the actual logo on our old cans is now shrink to like a 2x2 inch.
Yeah.
But
still, and I honestly, I'm going to say this: the Great South Bay logo, it's hard to find. It's so new. To do the poster that I did for the Instagram today,
Oh, yeah.
I had to go find like an old one, cut
Yeah.
it out, because that, and then kind of tool it to
Retool
make
it.
it because now it's
white.
There's no outlining.
It's
it's white,
red,
white, and then it's red, yellow, red.
Yes.
And that was hard to find
No,
because
absolutely.
that's so new.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at it,
And
like
if-
even this, like that is the new logo.
Yeah.
It used to be great, but with a black outline.
Yep.
South with a black outline.
Yep.
But white. Everything was white
Everything
lettering.
was white.
And then it was
they had the nautical flags at the bottom.
Correct.
So, funny story is when I first started, literally my first week, someone walks up. I'm at a beverage center, and they walked up to me, and they hold a can in front of me, and they go, "Hey, I got a question." And I'm like,
what the fuck is this?
I'm like, oh boy, this can't be good. And the guy goes, "What do these flags mean?" I'm mind you, like I said, I'm from Saratoga area. I don't know nothing about nautical themes or nautical flags.
You know, I grew up inland, right?
Yeah, like Great Sacandaga Lake. Like other than that, I got nothing. Lake George, but
there you go.
So
they didn't hold flags up at the
so he
yacht
goes,
clubs on.
He goes, hey, what do those flags mean? And I'm sitting there like, oh God. I mean, I've only been on the job for 2 weeks, and mind you,
fake it until you make it.
I try exactly, but I like to go into things prepared. You know, like I try to be well suited and not have to worry about answering like an idiot.
He caught you on a curveball.
He caught
sure
me, and he caught me with my pants down.
Yeah,
and it was he goes, so what does it mean? And I said, honestly, sir, I just left, or I just moved down here. I'm not really sure. He goes, oh, it means 2009. So those flags stand for 2009.
Right.
So after that, it was like the second week I got asked that. I basically got asked that once a week, every week since this date, honestly. People ask me all the time.
And you're sick of answering it, aren't you?
And it's like, why is that on the label? Why is that on our logo if no one can answer that question?
It's fair, yeah.
That one guy answered it for me.
Right.
But ever since then, I've been asked, and no one knows the answer.
Does anyone the ownership? Do
they know?
Okay.
Yeah, there was a reason for it.
They didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, like when I first, like I just thought that was our logo, and there was cool nautical flags on it, and it looked nice.
That's
and
what I would have thought.
When we redid it, we were like, listen, I said to him, I go, listen, no one knows what that means, and they said, okay.
Did
like,
you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
get
gone.
rid of
They're like, let's make it a square.
So let's talk about the logo that you have in your shirt. So everyone on Long Island knows, like Wantagh Parkway, Meadowbrook Parkway, all of the state parkways have that same layout. And so what you did was you basically put together that concept to tie it into Long Island lore.
Yeah, and like we've discussed, but like this logo, Long Island people will understand.
Absolutely.
Like, this won't be distributed in New Jersey. Like we would
as it shouldn't.
Exactly.
Because no one's going to get it.
Exactly. And that's what's tough about our brand is we're very proud of where we come from.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when we redesigned, it's all nautical flags. A lot of people don't even pick that up anymore. They're like, oh, they got a cool design on their cans.
Immediately, like we talked that first time when you saw the rebranding in Heckscher, I said,
yeah,
that's all nautical flags. I grew up at a yacht club, so I knew.
Yeah.
I sailed, I did all that stuff, so I know what it means.
But a lot of people
don't.
A lot of people have no idea, and when they,
I didn't mean to. I didn't raise myself.
But yeah, so like when we move to other markets, hopefully, and slowly but surely, we move to say Mass and back upstate New York and to Buffalo. They're not going to know what.
Correct.
You know, they're going to be like, oh, there's a girl on an anchor.
Look at all those cool little designs.
Yeah, they're just going to be like, oh, that's cool. Like, there's a nice design on it.
I want a popped collar shirt. Just
well, they're just going to
that textured label.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're just going to be like, oh yeah, the embossed.
But it's
label.
true. It still defines. It still defines it, regardless of what it means or what the background is. It still defines the brewery with a specific look and feel.
Yeah. So if you really want to dig into it, you know, where we come from, we're nautical themed. So we try to keep that background. We are proud of where we come from. You know, we've discussed Great South Bay loves Bayshore. Like we do love our area. You know, we're proud we want to partner with local businesses. We support local businesses. They support us, obviously. So it's all intertwined. It was tough to decide to move away from those cartoony nautical themed, but in the long run, we discussed, listen, if AB redesigns their cans every 2 years or every year, every 3 years, whatever it may be, why is a small brewery who has no restrictions at all, we can play with whatever we want, brew whatever we want, why don't we do it? So we looked at it and we were like, hey, now's the time. I mean, we did it also with an environmental purpose. That's why we have no more bottles.
It's true.
Did not know that.
Everything's
So
we
canning.
we are strictly cans now. So basically what happened is
it's also better for beer too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, yes, but a lot of people don't understand that still. The consumer is still learning, I think, in terms of that aspect.
I don't know. I think
no,
you've
that's
already,
a beer nerd thing.
That's a bit. Well, it is, but I think you've definitely overcome the initial
like that tin taste.
Yes.
Yeah.
But still,
that part's gone.
Yes.
But it's still like
It's still a
people see
huge
something
hurdle.
bottle.
In general,
more
like outside
premium.
of the extreme craft community, it's still a huge hurdle to lie.
And
It's
I'm
very
already,
odd.
I'm
very
already
odd.
out of it. I'm already like initially when I was doing the conversion a long time ago, I was
Yeah.
like, but now that I'm here, it's already in my brain.
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of negated out.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
now I've already, I've out of phased it by 180 degrees.
Yeah,
it's kind of
Makes me
canceled
feel
out.
silly for having a bottle opener on my keychain all the time now. I'm like,
Right.
I don't really need this anymore.
Or handing out a bottle
Also,
opener.
to answer, that's why Great South Bay doesn't make bottle openers anymore.
Correct.
So if anyone's asking, that's why we don't make
That
them.
is it. We don't serve that anymore.
But yeah, so when we did the redesign, we obviously looked into redesigning our cans and bottles at the time. And then we sat there and we said, listen, again, we come from the Bay. We support the Great South Bay. We're actually looking.
Your name is a fucking
And
body of
Bayshore.
water.
Yeah.
And
Bayshore.
Bayshore.
I don't know if I mentioned that. And we actually are looking to partner with the Great South Bay to in cleaning aspects.
It's an awesome idea.
Yeah. So when we looked
Did
into
you think
it
about buying oysters?
and shucking them, serving them,
And selling them out of your tap room. Yeah, okay.
someone does that.
But I don't know who does that. That's crazy.
So
talk.
when we were looking at the redesign, it was for a bottle and a can at the time.
Right.
We had both designs ready to go. Same thing, just for a bottle for a can.
Yeah, just slap the label on the same.
And then we sat there, and one of the marketing guys, and he does a lot more for us than this marketing, and the ownership, we sat there and we were like, hey, if we're gonna do this, let's go full board. Let's not saying half-ass it, but let's make a big change and for what we think is right for our area in terms of when you recycle cans, this can is basically all 100% recyclable material from recyclable material already.
And going to be recycled right afterwards.
You're 10 times more likely to recycle that can also.
Correct. Absolutely.
And then also, when you ship glass versus tin, the cans, you're I think it's 4 times the weight or something like that. You're
Really?
shipping.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That makes sense. Yeah,
it's a lot of, and not to
a
get
12-ounce aluminum can weighs a lot less than a 12-ounce glass bottle.
Exactly, and not to get into the nerdy aspects of it, but your greenhouse gases and stuff. We looked into all of it, and we wanted to make sure when we did it that we weren't just saying, "Oh, we're doing it for environmental purposes."
Right.
We wanted,
but you can legitimately put that on there,
actual scientific backing.
Right, and there's business element to it as well. So
Yes.
it all makes sense in
It's
all three realms.
inclusive, and yes, we're not going to say, "Oh, we did it expecting, we saved $10 billion." No, that's not true at all. We didn't do it just for cost purposes. We did it for the whole inclusive aspect. We wanted to help the environment. We're a locally Bayshore,
Yeah.
So it just worked out. It was perfect timing for everything
Brilliant.
to occur. It's
brilliant.
Question: are the in-house beers? Are any of them going to still have that cartoonish, something like Marauder or something like? Is that gonna,
so all the limiteds like the Candelabrum we're drinking right now,
right?
All of those are gonna. That's basically where we
just
want.
drank the shit out of that, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
It's delicious.
I just crushed it too. We want
So good.
to show our
a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, that's what, that's what I'm just thinking. In the last hour, I'm like, oh wow, why am I feeling much more buzzed than I did the first 2 hours? Oh yeah, that's the 8%er. Yeah,
So we want to.
I'm gonna drink more of it by the way.
Basically, even the guy from John, where he had those really cool artistic designs to pair with his really good beer. When it comes to our limited releases that we're going to be doing once a month, we really want to aspect our, artistic designs, whether it's Candelabrum that we've done in the past that we've relabeled kind of, like Cloud Out is our new New England IPA that no one likes New England IPAs apparently.
Not at all.
That will be coming out next month.
This is the project you talked about with. Yeah, I wanted to talk about that.
So we're going to be doing a brewers series moving forward. It won't be every month. It's going to be periodic, basically in terms of, as a sales guy, I can't sell double like a 10% stout in the middle of June. So if he comes to me with that idea, I'm going to push it off till maybe January. It's just
great idea.
Winter warmers.
Let's
So
let's maximize the potential of this great beer you
exactly. So next month, it just a New England IPA again. We've talked about we can sell, but it's Nugget, El Dorado, Galaxy, and there's one other hop I'm forgetting, but it's a double dry hop as usual.
Whatever happened to Mount Hood hop? I fucking have like refrigerated vacuum seal Mount Hood hops.
Oh,
Where did they?
Paul's got it.
I was like, wait a second. Hold on, let me get Paul back involved in the conversation.
That one hasn't been around for. I'm like, it's still around, but it's not.
No one's using it. It's not really did anything, right? It was just a hop to use a hop. It was kind of like a placebo.
No, it's all about like sexy hops now. Like,
Yeah,
if you don't have like
the
that sexy
buzzwords.
hop. Yeah.
But what's cool about the beer we're coming out with from it's from Dylan, one of our head brewers. He took a lot of hops that we have Bud
Nugget was the other hop.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
You have buzzwords and then you have the non-buzz, but at the same time, it all is going to come together to make a great.
Did you get it? You missed it. There's been these fruit
I got
flies.
it,
There you go.
In the studio for the last 4 hours. That is just fucking ridiculous. Pete grabbed one. You grab the other one? You got
grabbed
him?
one.
Oh, and Zach
He
grabbed
got
the
him.
other. All right, good.
But yeah, so
Yeah, so those buzzwords really set the entire industry in a direction.
100%.
That's what they do.
And that's what I want. So when he came to me and told me that he wanted to do a New England IPA, and I was like, okay, that's great. Let's make sure to use.
Tell that.
Yeah, and I was like, but let's make sure that we're not using like hops that no one cares about,
Or
unfortunately.
hops that cost $1 billion that you're not going to get your return
Well,
on.
so-
Technically, it's a dank ale.
Yeah, that's he's so. But we've noticed that he's not the first one to create a dank ale.
Right,
It's going to be called a dank ale. Who in the city made one?
Evil Twin?
Nope.
I got
It's a lot bigger
Is it
of a
Manhattan
brewery.
or
It's
is
a
it
lot bigger of a brewery.
Big Alice, LIC.
Big Alice would be for it.
They
Fifth
got the
Hammer.
TTB to approve dank ale as
Yeah,
an
they-
official beer.
They come in tall, skinnier cans. Why can't I think of the name?
6 Point.
Yes.
Yeah, 6 Point, correct.
6 Point makes a dank ale. It's called Shatter.
They did like a 6 beer series
Yeah.
of just super hoppy
So we
beers.
thought we made the curve. We thought we were the ones that Dylan, I should say, not we. Dylan created this new style that we were super excited about. It was bringing that West Coast. There you go. Bringing that West Coast like smell.
Yep.
And that aroma, but the juiciness.
Huh.
So like almost an all-inclusive, all.
Like a bi-coastal.
Yeah.
We had that for the craft beer week on 2018.
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah, the bi-coastal IPA where they made it actually at Fire Island, right? They made it at that.
Yes.
So that was like using that concept of the.
That was a good beer.
That was good. That was very good.
Yeah. Yeah. So he.
And then Paul was about.
like the dank ale is like Dylan's dank ale is a totally different.
Oh yeah.
Representation.
Really? Okay. Cool.
Oh yeah.
I'll be
yeah,
interested in seeing what that's
Double
about.
dry hop, like I said, with Galaxy. I think it's double dry hop with El Dorado or Nugget. One of the two.
No, it's El Dorado and.
He texted me it.
I know Nuggets in there. It's El Dorado.
But yeah, it's
in
gonna
there.
be a beer
It's
that
like Prego.
I think honestly, if all
gonna be
goes
dank.
according to I'm very
what I'm
curious
talking
to
about.
see that I'm fingers crossed. You know, I have faith in them obviously, but
Right.
you get that really bitter, that hoppy smell off the nose.
Yep.
And then you drink it and you're like, wow, that's juicy.
That's brilliant.
So when is that series looking to come out?
So we're looking at probably the week before Thanksgiving.
Oh, so really soon.
And it's going to be high alcohol content, so I don't have to really have to listen to my relatives when I see them on Thanksgiving.
Yes, that's the point of this time of year.
Unfortunately, we're looking at like 7%.
That's good enough.
No, it's good enough.
We're not
good
looking.
enough.
We're not
No, it's good
looking.
enough.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not.
3 will do me. And
I've seen some
I'll sleep.
even 8.5, 9% IPAs that the booze is a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen.
But I've also
tough,
seen-
But my family is, I mean,
Yeah.
family around the
Baby.
holidays.
I think my parents are in bed, so I can say, yeah. I
What was
agree.
I don't know if you guys know about the quadruple for that Nightmare did?
Yes.
The
yes.
quad? Okay,
Yes.
so that quad.
Which one?
I think we.
Right.
I think we
That-
brewed
that-
one of them. I believe.
That
I
beer
believe
from
you did.
Nightmare
Yeah.
that had a high alcohol content.
Even in the Goza that had 7.5% alcohol in it. But yeah, the quad was that did not taste very boozy.
No.
It was way too like potent, and I was very scared because I said if I had more than one of these, I'm sleeping immediately.
absolutely.
Billy has a way with booze.
You think?
That's just
Jesus
that's
Christ. Yeah, he can't wait no more. Filling up to the brim.
No, Billy has a way with booze. Like,
So I mean, he whatever they did for the process, and I'm not sure where it was done at that point, but it was done to a point where I had the quad, I drank the whole thing, and I went, "Fuck, I could have another one," and that's a problem. Like that's a real problem. For me.
It is a problem, and in the sense of this, like as a brewer, like I've produced beers that were like equally as a problem, and that's something I won't apologize for.
Yeah.
It's like
I do apologize for it.
It's a problem in the sense that it's that damn good.
Yes.
That I want to drink another one, even though like I know I can't. And now
Or
that problem relies on me and not on the brewer.
Yeah,
but
all of the relief has been off the brewer.
Yeah,
now it's solely on me. Now it's on my shoulders.
And that's the whole thing. It's like, you know, when somebody like, you know, comes to me like, yo, this is fucking dangerous. Yeah, I'm not going to apologize for that.
No.
Like,
Well, you should have thought about that before you
because
walked
it's
in the
12%
place.
Read the label.
doesn't mean that it
Yes,
should
exactly.
drink like rubbing alcohol. Like, yeah, it's
Well, it
12%.
can, but-
It's smooth.
And it's delicious.
I'm not going to apologize for that. Like,
You mean I did a great beer? Okay, I'm
Yeah,
not going to apologize for any good beers that I've done. Let's wrap this up. It's 11:30 and I'm exhausted and
Work tomorrow.
All right, I actually have a superintendent's conference, so I don't really give a shit. I have to
Oh,
deal with
right.
children's
Fucking-
tomorrow, so
that's
for me,
right.
that's why it went so late tonight. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, let's start with you, Paul, because obviously you're here, and let's talk about the big things. We talked to you back in July. And now we're getting closer and closer. How far off are you from getting this done?
Well-
and then give us like the big roundabout what you think you're gonna have for your opening day, and what you're gonna have in regards to an opening time period, or let's say a range of time. What are you thinking for us?
well, originally, like, you know, like scheduling this whole date on the show, I was hoping to be able to come on and tell you that I was opening this Saturday, but that's not happening.
That would have been one hell of an announcement. You should have done at 8:25.
The state, you know, decided to give us like
Sucks,
another like
right.
step
State
back.
sucks.
Yeah, it's just been like
course
lots of
they
like
do.
setbacks and whatnot. Like I was saying before, like I've got my federal approval, my town approval. I've got every other approval outside of the state
Good.
approval to open.
Good.
up.
I'm glad.
So,
I'm glad it's.
they're telling us like, you know, the end of November now, and as soon as we can open up, we'll be open up.
Nice.
So I appreciate everybody's like patience and
basically
continuous
like,
support and
stick to the Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and keep
yes.
tracking. You're going to release dates.
And yeah,
coming
like
up for
we're
what's-
hoping like, you know, very end of, you know, November, worst
Mm-hmm.
case scenario, beginning of you know, December. So
Okay.
you know, taking it from there, we've dumped a lot of beer this year.
Fuck yeah. Well, I mean, just trying to get it right. Is that what?
No,
Breaking
keeping it
in the
fresh.
equipment.
Oh, okay.
Keeping
gotcha.
it fresh.
Yes.
Like where we were supposed to have this date and then that date and then.
Well, you're
then the
constantly
next date.
preparing. You're always on the ready.
Yeah, continuously preparing. And getting stuff locked
So
down.
you've brewed batches thinking like, oh well, the approval's right around the corner.
Well,
I better have this beer ready, and then the rug gets pulled out
and
from under you,
then- Yeah. Like we
and you have to drink all that delicious beer yourself.
As a neighbor, I'm not exactly that upset about it.
Yeah.
the drain has drank a lot of that.
Yes,
beer,
sir.
Unfortunately.
That's unfortunate,
But
yeah.
but
Well,
it's
next
all
time
about,
call
keeping,
us
like,
because we will come over and help the drain out a little bit.
I'll
Help
bring
the
your
sewer
hours.
bill.
but no, like we're right around that corner. We're hoping like end of November, beginning of December.
Oh, good. So you're right there, man.
Yeah, we're
All right.
just like
That's
right,
exciting.
like right now, like the SLA is at like a 25-week. Like
Turn
whole,
time.
like our license has been filed for, I think we're like literally at our 23-week
Jesus
like
Christ.
right now, like so like we're
You got to
tasting
know
room
it's,
is ready.
it's coming any day.
like
now.
like it.
Do you
like,
check the mail
within the hour
every
that
day?
it comes to us?
Yeah.
It will come down to everybody else.
Nice.
You know, and
Tasting room's ready to go.
tasting room is ready to go. We have TVs and we have Egyptian sarcophaguses. Like
Sarcophagi.
Sarcophagi. We have pianos, mirrors. We got tarot cards, fucking Ouija boards. We got everything. Like we're ready to like the amount of like Halloween celebrations and everything else that we were planning on doing. Like
it sounds like
what a letdown.
Hold on.
Like,
This sounds like a
postpone until next
Stefan
year,
like Saturday Night Live bit.
It's
like we have midgets and warning cones and
I was worried for
people
him.
giving out VJs. Get out of here. There's still someone calling in. God damn it. We're wrapping up. This is the Word Mike at PeteGovsRadio.com. Who do we got on the phone?
Paulie!
Oh, goodbye.
Yo, what's up, Grazie?
The state commission just called. You ain't getting your fucking license till March.
March.
Oh my God.
Wouldn't surprise me
Fuck
at this
that.
point. But
All right, but we'll talk to you later, buddy.
Yeah, later.
All right, he's got.
But yeah, I mean, like literally, it's just like I know a handful of friends that their licenses are literally in the same exact spot as ours. It's
Okay.
just
So it's all like in a batch. It's all gonna get released in one time.
the state is that far backed up.
I'm curious.
Which is crazy
I'm curious what like how I really would love to be like a fly on the wall and see how that process goes because it does seem like it's
just
they're
some
snails. They're snails. They are
56-year-old woman looking like at the end of retirement.
You know, Gertrude, I don't know
Yeah.
if we're going to approve this yet. Did Don tell you that this was going to... Let's make a couple of phone calls.
Yeah.
All right, we'll wait till next week. All right.
I'm sure that's how it's going. It's just a bunch of people.
Job security must be a really great thing, but you don't have to worry about
100%.
like closing your doors.
It's
yeah,
ridiculous and how long this is taking. When it
and
just
the
requires
only thing I want to do is I just want to give you money. Like I just want to
You have
give
to pay.
you.
You have to pay taxes.
Like
on that,
I just
yeah.
want to
Yeah.
pay taxes and give you money.
So I
like,
can start making money, but at the same time, you're going to get money the minute you say yes. So let's go. What are we doing? And there's, I mean, like, I know you said a handful.
Yeah, like-
there's not that many breweries looking to open right now.
No,
not
there
as many as
are.
there was.
No.
6 months ago.
There are.
Really?
Like you have no idea.
So the guy
like,
in Massapequa, the Motion
Angel.
No, I don't know if that's his name, but Motion.
Old Tappin.
Old Tappin's up and running.
That's true.
Old Tappin is up and running.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Motion in Massapequa Park.
Yeah.
So they
yeah,
probably
that
have their
thing, so,
license
yeah,
in.
No.
But I don't know that many as there was
no,
6 months ago.
Angels like
Twin Forks. They're waiting.
Are they really
there's
still?
a lot of people. like,
Maybe not their not their license, but
no.
they're
Twin Forks is waiting to
Forks.
like be able to
Where are
actually
they?
operate like there's so many fucking breweries.
They're contract brewery
on
right
Long
now.
Island
Yeah.
that-
I was
that-
gonna say,
that
I've seen
are-
them out there.
and Twin Forks is a brewery that has like their
Long
paperwork
Island?
already in the mix,
Longer-
and
longer
they
than
can
you?
get their shit approved. Well, Twin Forks like because they're like a wholesaler and
Right.
they've been contracting brewing. They've had like one license for the like ever, but now like trying to transition to their other
They
license.
can't open a tasting room until they get the other
Correct.
license,
Yeah,
right?
you
It's
need
just
that
backed
too.
up. Like,
Yeah.
like the SLA is literally at 25 weeks right now.
That's crazy.
6
months.
months. Roughly 6
Ridiculous.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is asinine.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like the only thing
And you have
wanna
to.
do
You have
is,
to.
like,
You have your building. You've bought your equipment.
All the capital's invested.
You've been
Yeah.
brewing
I
just to
I
get
have my
ready for
federal
the day.
approval. I have federal like label approvals
Yeah.
for beers
Fucking crazy.
that I can't even use because I'm not approved
ridiculous.
on the state level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
state
so
is
like
dragging ass.
that's where we're at right now. Like we have multiple federal label approvals.
Right.
That we can't do anything with because the state hasn't approved us yet.
Ridiculous. That's
and,
it's just
and the
stupid.
state is like that far behind.
And they want you to use all the
back
local
winded.
ingredients. They want you to use all the local
No,
stuff. They want
well,
part
that's the
of
thing.
the
Like we have a farm brewery license and a microbrewery license
Right.
going as well. So it's not the local ingredients. It's not the
But
local.
wouldn't
This
you
is not the
want-
local
but-
that.
but wouldn't as-
It's nothing other than like the SLA literally
rubber stamp.
just being that backlogged
Right.
and giving us a
Yeah.
rubber stamp.
That's what it
Like,
comes down to.
That's literally the only thing. Like federally, like if the state were to give us our license, I could federally like do whatever the hell I wanted to
Right.
with all of my label approvals. But I can't even operate in our own state. I have town approvals. Like we have our CO like the fire department's been through.
Yep.
Like everything is like through.
Do you still have
and
to get
through
the
and
health
through and
inspection?
through. No, we're good on that.
Done. So
Just
this
the
is
state.
it. This is the
Like,
only
we're
fucking person.
literally waiting on the SLA.
Assholes. Assholes.
We're literally waiting
You
on the
don't
SLA.
do,
Like,
do-
Can you
do
call
we
Rich
need,
up
by
at
the way-
New York State Brewers Association? Can you call him and say, can you fucking go over to Albany and fucking get this shit done?
No,
He can't
it
do
has nothing
anything.
to do with him.
He
It has
can't do
nothing to
anything.
do with him. It has to do with the state liquor authority. Like,
You don't need
they're
the
doing
FDA,
a,
by the way,
a
right?
bunch of stuff with the internet and like getting like label registration
Oh, yeah.
websites, blah blah blah.
There's apparently a
And,
24-hour approval
a couple
coming.
of people like retired
Yeah,
this year,
right.
like, blah,
Get
blah,
the
blah.
fuck outta here.
Yeah, in a couple of months,
Apparently.
like there'll be a 24-hour like label approval. But at the end of the day,
That ain't
like.
happening.
Like we've been sitting in purgatory for
We're
about
gonna,
6 months.
I was going to say, you're going to go from 6 months to 24 hours. Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah.
Get
well,
the
for
fuck outta here.
label
For
approval.
labels.
like
Just
for
for,
label,
like-
not
But
for
still, I
license
mean,
approval.
still, it's
So
another
this
step.
This
But
is like
for
a month.
licensing,
This is
like-
also a month.
That took a month?
It takes about 3 to 4 weeks.
So when you start brewing the beer, you have to submit the label.
Prior.
Wait, yeah,
But
wait,
when,
like
you
when I-
come up with the recipe, you need to submit it.
So like for Cloud Out,
What happens
Christ.
if it misses?
you're if
Or do you
yeah,
just
you're
say like,
screwed.
well, 6.8 and 6.9 are pretty close?
No.
no,
That's not a thing.
That's not a thing.
That is not even the issue.
So you have to
If that
water
was
it
the
down to get
issue,
down to a 6.8
like-
just to
like,
make sure you're
It's
Brewers would not be
yeah,
crying.
it's
Like,
well, it's not no,
that is
not
far from-
necessarily.
I don't
but-
want to say water it down, but you know what I'm
No,
saying? You have to basically
so-
drop the ABV to make sure that it complies with the labeling that you're putting.
It's
legally,
really,
it has to be within 0.5%. ABV.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, that's a lot.
Yeah, no,
That's a lot.
absolutely.
Yes.
But what it comes down to is like, so say for this, they can nitpick, and not for this beer, but for other beers, we submitted the same label,
Yep.
and not to, I love you, state too. You can submit it just depending on who you get.
Right.
They could approve.
Yeah.
So say I sent this label in, someone might disapprove. We could resubmit it.
Yep.
Same exact thing.
Yeah.
Someone will approve it. Just how it works.
Just keep resubmitting it week after
It
week.
happens sometimes, yeah.
Fuck.
So like,
Does it cost money every time you submit it? Is it like
it's
an
probably a small
application
filing
fee?
fee, though,
It
right?
does-
Of
it's a
course it
filing
does.
fee, but yeah, I mean, it comes down to, so when, I mean, we're pretty good, at least at GSB, and I'm sure Ghost will be the same because he knows what he's doing. When we make a label, we make sure to obviously dot our I's, cross our T's. We try to make sure everything's in place. Everything that needs to be known is known on the can or on the label. But that doesn't mean necessarily it will get approved.
Right.
There could be offsetting, you name it. It could come down.
One word choice.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
So what it comes down to is what you have to do is just basically ride the wave and hope for the best.
Again, we have submitted the same label twice and it got approved the second time.
Right.
It's happened.
That's fucking ridiculous.
But it happens.
And so this is what the new breweries are fighting. It's like this constant battle of getting approved, getting the labels, getting the stuff. I mean, I know even you guys who are like
we had
a mid to large size brewery here on Long Island are
Yeah.
still fighting the same fucking battles.
Yeah.
So.
So Great South Bay used to do a lot of limited releases. We were kind of almost known for it at one point. Not saying they were the best, just because
Prior to you, Zach.
No,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just because they were producing so many of them, it just kind of caught up at one point that they were selling and they were on the shelves. There was a lot of volume of our beer on one, So now we try to produce what we
Actual
think,
limited releases.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes
exactly. We want to produce whether it's a 15 barrel on Ghosts. We use their barrels.
Yep.
Or we'll use our 30 or 60 barrels, depending on the style.
Right.
So we really try hard now to we're trying to gain back that niche audience. We don't want to be known as just the Blonde and the Bloods of the world. As great as those beer are, don't get me wrong.
Right.
I drink Blood Orange all the time.
Right.
I was just talking about that.
It was good, by the way. I drank
off
yeah,
the air. Yeah,
it was
I
good.
I was just talking to you. About that.
I might be a backer.
Exactly.
I might be coming back.
Yeah.
For the blonde. I mean for the blood orange.
Yeah. So we do make beers that we think a lot of. I shouldn't say, not everyday beer drinkers will drink, but a mass majority will drink. The
Yes,
craft
correct.
consumer will drink. We've got a lot of awards, not humble brag, but consistency's there, but at the same time, we want to venture into those New Englands, like we talked about a lot.
Absolutely,
obviously.
yeah.
We know, like the rum pumpkin. We know we can hit that. We know we can make a good beer.
It was delicious.
The kettle
100%.
sours that we did, and unfortunately, we talked about the saisons. We made a saison this year for the first time in I think 2 or 3 years. Candelabrum's first time in 2 or 3 years. The saison won a gold in the saison category at Tap New York. It's we're gonna try to do as much as we can to push the envelope also while still creating
Good,
those
solid,
those
like
flagships.
staples. Yep.
And that's where again I've mentioned Greg a million times here. I get to luckily we have Paul at Ghost. I'm lucky enough
bounce ideas.
Exactly.
Have them as
a lot of breweries don't have that.
No.
Maybe now we just talked about
none. None that we could think of.
Exactly, but 2 rows and
I mean, regionally, yes, but not locally.
Exactly.
Not.
So we're lucky enough now to be able to say, hey, Greg, XYZ, hey, we need this, that. And then I go to Paul and I say, hey, Paul, what do you think? Because in all honesty, Paul's audience is what our limiteds are targeting.
Correct.
He's looking for that niche market that wants whatever the craze or I guess popular beer.
Right.
Wherever the hopheads.
We're bringing sexy back.
Yes. Yeah. We're looking for that, but we're looking obviously on a larger scale. At the same time, we hope, and we really do hope that we can bring, say, the therapy drinker with a Cloud Out beer coming out.
Right.
They grab a therapy and they say, oh, they got another new IPA coming out. Maybe they want to try that. They drink it.
Yep.
They like it.
Right.
That's awesome.
That's what we want. Right.
That's what we're hoping for. We're definitely not going to be exactly experimental in terms of, we're not going to be out there like cool ships almost. I guess that's a
right.
very
But you're going to
beer
try
geeky.
to give someone who wants to come to the tap room a unique experience,
Exactly.
as opposed to getting the distributors and give them that opportunity to come. And you want them at the tap room.
Exactly.
That's where a lot of the point to sale is, a POS is happening anyway. So
we're also going to be launching a pilot system too.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing a pilot system.
Well, way to announce that in the fourth hour.
Yeah.
But cool. That's a cool. Like you said, you're going to do like each brewer is going to do its own style.
It's this is actually like
a little different than that.
Yeah, way different. We're going to be doing. This is where we're going to get funky.
Okay.
That's where they can do. Again, selfishly as a sales guy, like if someone comes to me in June and says, "I'm going to do a double dry hop, whatever XYZ," and I'm like, maybe in January or if it's the wrong month, kind of thing. But we're going to try to push the envelope a little with those beers, make stuff new. Very small batches. We're talking
reinvent some of the small brewery style stuff that
it's like a 2 or it's
where
like
you came from.
You're going to get 4 halves possibly out of
Right.
the whole thing.
Wow.
So we're talking on
Very limited.
We're talking Friday it's released, Sunday it's gone.
Yeah.
So we can really create and try different things.
Kind of like the Scratch Beer series from Trogs or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And following the footsteps of that.
And I'm sure Paul
model.
can attest. That's where the fun comes in. That's where you can really be creative. Again, as a sales guy, I don't need to worry about them being like, "Oh, I need to sell it."
Right.
It's a good test market, though.
Absolutely.
The brewers on the red floor are really excited about like the pilot program and they're really excited.
Yeah, I would
about,
imagine it
getting in on that,
rejuvenates
like-
everybody that's there. It's like, oh shit, we're gonna do something like fucking totally different.
You know what it is?
Gives them a chance, show what they have to give, and then if it goes over well, maybe it'll get brewed over on
that's kind of cool.
Maybe it goes from being pilot to a limited
Exactly.
edition.
As I'm sure everyone knows, we have head brewers, and then we have cellarmen, and then we have packaging people. But those packaging people want to showcase their abilities.
Might have $1 million idea. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure.
And this is where they can showcase, hey, I'm capable of even being promoted. We know we have a great staff. We know that those guys that maybe they're packaging now, they could eventually be cellarmen and cellarmen to head brewers. We know that. This is their chance to show their abilities and show, hey, I got $1 million. Like you said, $1 million. You could have $1 million idea that I've never thought of, ownership never thought of. It's just outside the box, and it could work.
And you're just sitting there like steaming on it, just figuring it out. Like,
Yeah.
I got to perfect this in some way.
And now that 2-barrel system goes to a 30-barrel, but
right, but still, you're still going to get that same kind
Exactly.
of impact on the market. With that said, give your big plug for the brewery itself. Give a shout out to all those guys that are in that brewery, and then tell us where our audience can find the beer, where they can contact
everywhere.
I go on that too.
Ideally,
but like where they can contact, where they can find on social media and all that other good stuff.
So I mean, to contact us, any social media platform, whether it's Facebook, Instagram. I don't think we have a Snapchat. I think we do actually, but we don't utilize it.
No, you're not 19 years old, so 16.
You can message us, and you'll actually probably be contacted by me. Facebook, Instagram. We're trying to get a lot better at it. In our industry, consumer,
all about the gram.
Yeah, even consumer contact, just being responsive at a relatively quick rate.
Right.
Goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely.
We understand that. So we're trying our best. I'm only 28, but still, I'm not exactly the biggest Instagram person in the world or Facebook, so I'm still learning all the ins and outs. But you can reach us at Great South Bay Brewery on Instagram or Facebook. You can also email info@greatsouthbaybrewery.com. Someone will definitely be able to reach out to you. There's about 4 or 5 people on it.
Perfect. Yeah, a lot of people.
We're always on top of it. I'm one of them also. Like I said, there's about 4 other people that are like in it.
Nice.
Give us honestly like an hour or so, unless you're at like 2 a.m. But if you're at a reasonable hour, someone's going to answer back. And then in terms of buying our beer, you can support us at any local beverage center. We're very proud to say we prioritize local beverage centers first.
Yes.
We have branched out to obviously your King Collins of the world, Best Markets, Stop and Shop, ShopRights, not to name all of them.
Right.
But you will be able to find any beer and every beer we've ever produced at a beverage center.
Perfect.
And we can proudly say that.
And at a shit ton of bars.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Jones Beach, you can go get those giant cans of
Jones
Blonde
Beach,
Ambition.
19.2s.
Yes.
Hopefully soon local bodegas and 7-Elevens. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
That'd be awesome.
But yeah, so the biggest plug for us is we'd like to support local. I come from a beverage center background. I'm happy to say that I have very good connections in the beverage center community here. They do a great job. They like to support local. And yeah, if you can, definitely support local. That's just it's best for everybody.
Yeah. The Bayshore community, the Suffolk community, the entire Long
even
Island
Nassau, you name it. It goes a long way. So.
Well, I want to thank both you and Paul for coming down and bringing a shit ton of beer and enjoying it with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
the fucking conversation tonight has been unbelievable.
A lot of fun.
Yeah,
100%.
always.
We want to thank all of our sponsors and everyone that's called in, especially John from Rebel Kettle. I slur that a little bit. Even
great
sober.
conversation, by the way.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
it fucking
that was
totally
super
cool.
I want
guy.
to email that guy.
I want him to be in the studio with us like tomorrow.
That would be amazing.
Fucking awesome. So thanks everyone for tuning in. This is the Wort with Mike and Pete, GovsRadio.com. Check us out on our replays on iTunes, on Spotify, on YouTube. Pete, any last words before we go?
Don't forget to have your pet spayed or neutered.
That's right. This is the Wort with Mike and Pete, GovsRadio.com. We out.
Well, that's 2 hours of your life that you'll never get back.
Are you kidding me?
Please hang up and try again.
This has been the Wort on Govs Radio. I hope you're drunk enough.
It's funny how nothing seems much fun anymore to me now that I quit the drink. The soberness, it might be what I need, but it's certainly not how I wanna be. 'Cause nothing seems much fun anymore to me. Consequence, never had any time to think about what shoulda, coulda happened to me. The common sense, my parents said I never had any, but now look at who's got the dough. Nothing seems much fun anymore to me. locked our neck and grin. We've got to fight the den.
Nothing seems much fun anymore to me. Nothing seems much fun anymore to me. Nothing seems much fun anymore to me. Nothing seems much fun. Nothing seems much fun anymore to me. Nothing seems much fun anymore to me. Nothing seems much fun anymore to me. Nothing seems much fun.
Everyone to the bar.
Don't call me Rich, don't call me George, just call me Cheese, that's who I am. Don't call me Rich, don't call me George, just call me Cheese, that's who I am. Don't call me Rich, don't call me George, just call me Cheese, that's who I am. And not Rich, not George, I'm Cheese. Civilized until the keg runs dry. And he's tried to drink from 9 to 5, and then from 5 to 9. Always drunk and going crazy. Always drunk going crazy, you better believe it. Don't call me Rich, don't call me George, just call me G, that's who I am. Don't call me Rich, don't call me George, just call me G, that's who I am. Don't call me Rich, don't call me George, just call me G, that's who I am. But not Rich, not George, I'm Cheese. Chesterfield, where the kegs never dry, it's always filled. Have another beer with fear, have another beer or two. It'll show you his cheese tattoo. Always drunk going crazy, you better believe it. Don't call me Rich, don't call me George, just call me G, that's who I am. Don't call me Rich, don't call me George, just call me G, that's who I am. Don't call me Rich, don't call me George, just call me G.